schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Love from Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Love from Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when we start the program in the next minute or so, we want all the energy we can master. Please have a look at the back of your minds. Amass.
In Ghana today, when a civil servant is caught for corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds.
Joy Prime, Joy Learning, yes, TV, the business on Radio Love 99.5 FM. We are excited to share with you another beautiful day here on the Love FM Calchaco to Praise High School, happening at the Christian Service University in Kumasi. My name is Patricia Bosu, and today we are going to take contest 3 and contest 4 of the round of 16 stage. And I must let everybody know that KNUST Senior High and Senior High School have so far made it to the quarterfinal stage of this particular competition. And this is a competition we do in collaboration with the Education Service. We are Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, and of course our proud title sponsor, that is Kel Chaco Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. And like I said, we're seeing contest 3 and 4, and contest 3 is going to be between TI Amass Senior High School, one-time champion for this particular debate, and also two-time champion, that is Kumasi High School. They are facing off today at contest 3, and they are going to argue for and against the motion quote, the teaching of feminist ideologies to our girls in our schools should cease, and quote. We have T.I. Media speaking for the motion and Kumasi High School arguing against the motion. And let us also, of course, acknowledge our debaters and, of course, our supporters right now, because we're going to speak to them. We have some students around to have a conversation with. I'm going to go to the lady from T.I. Media, Real Amass. It's good to see you, and share with us in 30 seconds your name and what is bringing on board today.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Salimat Amaltiti, the SRC Vice President for TI Amass. We are coming with heat. Losing is not in our book. Yeah. Okay,
Maltiti, let me go to your brother from Kumasi High School. Henry here. Share with us what is high school also bringing today.
My name is Jose Champon, the former writers and debaters society researcher of Kumasi High School. You see, there's a Latin Koju says, "Elta ruta delight," meaning if you believe that you win, you will win. There's a line in our school and we say, our vision is to conquer and never be conquered. We are coming here to tell Amass that they are going to lose and we would never be conquered. And we have never been conquered in our history before. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I heard the quote somewhere before, but let's now speak to the debaters who have been doing the job when it comes to what the debaters say on TV, on radio, and also on social media. I'm just going to take it away from the team that's Kumasi High School. Baba is here. Baba, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm also doing fine. In 30 seconds, share with us.
Right. We don't talk that much. Kumasi High School, we've always been, and winning is our portion. Tia Amass, they know. My brother TZ and Gideon here, they know that Kumasi High School knows nothing. Victory, so victory will be ours. That's
okay, Gideon, do you agree with Baba?
I don't agree with him. I'm from TI. So he just said, I came, I saw, I conquered. So with on our side, we have come. We will perform, and victory will be ours. And everyone will testify that we don't accept defeat.
Okay, we don't accept defeat. That is the message from T.I. Amadia this particular afternoon. Don't forget that the hashtag remains LUVFMHSD if you are posting something on social media. David, you can take it away from Foya now.
Well, thank you. Foya, the auditorium you mean. All right, so thank you very much, Patricia Amabunzu. And like she said, my name is David Akwete, and today I'm expecting nothing but fireworks. Simply put, we have two-time champions in Prempeh College who will be competing this afternoon. We have two-time champions in Kumasi High School who will be competing this afternoon. We have one-time champions in TI Amass, they will be competing this afternoon. And of course, Church of Christ, a very formidable side, will also be competing this afternoon. One more time on behalf of our sponsors, we say welcome to the second day at the round of 16 stage of the Love FM Kel Chaco Toothpaste High Schools debate. Now, if you're happy to be in this auditorium, please put your hands together for yourselves. And then make some noise and tell the people who are watching us on television, those listening to us on radio, and of course on our socials, that we are here and we are ready to do battle. So, good afternoon to you listening to us on radio on Love 99.5. Good afternoon to you for those of you watching us on television on Joy Prime and Joy Learning. And good afternoon to you for those of you who are with us on our socials on TikTok, YouTube, and also on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our partners in the Ashanti Regional SRC, the GES Ashanti, and of course the Conference of Heads of our sister secondary schools, we welcome you to this afternoon's contest. It is happening live here at the Christian Service University, where we are comfortably seated. Please put your hands together for all our partners. By way of information and history, we began this competition some 8 years ago. We had the first school to have won this competition in TI Amass. Then the following year, we had St. Jerome winning. Then St. Monica's won. Then the fourth edition was won by Kumasi High School. Then the fifth was won by Prempeh College. The sixth again was won by Kumasi High School. The seventh, and of course the defending champions, are here with us in Prempeh College. At this point in time, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our title sponsor, Kel Charcoal Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. Many thanks also goes to Didishator Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, Jackson University College, Seppo Musical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, New Generation Investment Services, Amass Community Bank PLC, Ochuasekan Community Bank PLC, St. Ben Jewelry, Tamak Questions and Answers Textbooks, The Seed Travels, Wemplex 400, Franz Zokas Limited, Orion Cyrus Publications, and Broadview Christian Academy. Please put your hands together for all our sponsors for me. I expect nothing but fireworks because these are young ones who have taken time to do research on the motion and are here to deliver. Let me introduce to you the chairperson and also the patron for the Love FM High School's debate. Now, she is an educationist, a youth and marriage counselor, a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She's a renowned marriage counselor, an educationist. Okay, so as an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and abroad. Now, she's a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and the headmistress of KNUST JHS from 1992 to 2008. Now, she is a co-founder and the principal of Jackson University College, which offers 1-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English, guidance and counseling, educational leadership and administration, plus B.Ed programs. Now, in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Now, her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she is married to Professor Ebenezer Sefua Jackson, and by the grace of God, they've got 4 adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Please put your hands together for the chairperson, Mrs. Theodosia Jackson, who as always is with us. Mom, good afternoon to you, and thanks very much for your presence. Now to our panel of judges who will be scoring this afternoon. Let me start off with Reverend Justice Bofa Poku-Mensah. Now, Reverend Justice Bofa Poku-Mensah does justice to the debate. He doesn't just go by the name justice, he does justice to everything he does. Now, he's a lecturer here at the Christian Service University. He is with the Department of Communication Studies. Please put your hands together for Reverend Justice Bofa Poku-Mensah. Also with us is Reverend Joseph Janvi Blay. He is also with the Theology Department here at Christian Service University. Rev, thank you very much for your time with us. God bless you. And then our lead judge is in Dr. Peter Arthur Pierrot. Now, he is a senior lecturer and former head of the Department of English at KNUST. He's former head of Department of Language and Communication Sciences at KNUST. He's a textual analyst, and he's here this afternoon as well as our lead judge. Please put your hands together for the panel of judges assembled here this afternoon. Amass. Amass. Phobia. Okay. Imrantia. I'm asking you to respond to your school slogan because at this point in time, I'm going to invite our lead judge, Dr. Peter Arthur, to run us through the rules of engagement and also how, as judges, they score. Please listen attentively to him. Show him some love with a round of applause.
Thank you, David. And Madam Chair, with your permission, I break down the rules of engagement. My dear students, we have 5 parameters. You know that already. We are talking about organization and clarity, arguments and development, use of rebuttal, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, a role as a particular debater. Now let's break it down. With organization and clarity, we are talking about raising good points, distributing them well in your speech, and then making sure that your introduction is good. That is, you have a catchy introduction, you have explained your terms, and you have a good thesis statement. Of course, when it comes to the body, you know how to develop it, and then a good conclusion. For the first speaker, we are having 15 marks for that. And then the second speaker is taking 10 marks for that. And then for the summary, we have 5 marks for that. Arguments and development. I think you've been with this business. You know what we call reasoning and the various aspects of reasoning. So don't forget the reasoning chain, procedural, causal, and stuff like that. Now, let me add, because now we are moving up, let me add that you also have to consider the basis of your argument. All right? When I get to rebuttals, I will comment on that. First speaker, 15 marks. Second speaker, 10 marks. And then summary, 5 marks. Effective use of rebuttal. Let's go back. We've spoken about the causal chain. We've spoken about the procedural chain. A automatically becoming B. So if you think that the B is not a direct product from the A, then you have a cause to challenge. You understand that? Now, when it's come to procedural, 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. So if you give me 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, I won't accept that. I will have to challenge you on that. Now, on the basis of argument, if your basis is not good, your conclusion is not good. So, for example, if you tell me that all birds are humans, sparrow is a bird, therefore sparrow is human, I won't take that. Unless perhaps it's metaphorical. And if it is metaphorical, then your support, your explanation, and then all the materials that you use to support will tell me that you are speaking a metaphorical language. Other than that, I won't take it. And for that one, we have the first speaker taking 5 marks for that, and then the second speaker taking 10 marks for that. And there's nothing for the summary. But note that if the first speaker comes and the first speaker is doing rebuttals, we will add everything to what the second speaker has got. Then you have presentation style. Now, listen. Don't rush us. If you rush us, what we're going to do is that we will mark you all right. But if all of us, all the judges agree that you were rushing us to the extent that people couldn't hear you properly, then the first speaker, who is taking 8, whichever mark that you get there will be divided into 2. So if you have 4, you'll have 2. If you have 6, you have 3. Second speaker is taking 5. So if you have 2 there, you have 1. And then the summary is going to be 2 marks. So make sure that you don't rush us through. Don't behave as if you are possessed and that you are just rattling and that sort of thing. Nobody will take that. Now, you have to take care the way you use your kinesics or you use your environment. Okay? Move gently and move with dignity. And then your body language, your gesticulations, your facial expression, your eye engagement and all that. Be very careful with that. Your language, speak good language. Okay? Good. Then rule as a particular debater. Normally, the first speaker comes powerfully and then the second speaker will support the first speaker. Now let's get on with our main rules. We say that the principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion, and this time he is taking 10 minutes for that. The principal speaker on the opposing team presents argument opposing the resolution. Here again, 10 minutes for that. And then the second speaker on the affirmative team presents further argument in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. 7 minutes for that. The second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. 7 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the affirmative team also comes with closing statements to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. This time, 5 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team comes with the closing statements to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. 5 minutes for that. Now listen, every debater must be audible, okay? And if you're a debater, you have to wait till it is your turn to speak. The principal speaker is raising 5 points, and then the supporting speaker is raising 3 points. Take note of that. It simply means that you introduce the point, 1 mark, you explain, another mark, you give examples and support them, another mark. Now, listen, if you tell us something we don't agree with, we will give you the mark. Maybe you are being metaphorical, but when you go to the support and the explanation and we don't find meaning, we will wipe out all the 3. Take note of that. Now, other external rules. He who asserts, oh, come on, louder. He who asserts, that's good. And in order to establish an assertion, the team must support it with enough facts and evidence. And mind you, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples or visuals are permissible, and once introduced, the opponent can also use it. And remember that tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibits to support facts. And then in rebuttals, the debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the topic raised. The one rebutting must confine him or herself to questions, not to make statements, comments, or ask rhetorical questions. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline, not to induce, frustrate, or intimidate debaters of the opposing side. Failure will attract deduction of marks. Now, be careful with your time. You must respect time. And when you are bailed out, stop whatever that you are saying and walk towards your seat and assume your position there. If you fail to do that, we will deduct marks. And in the event of a tie, the 2 schools will be invited, and within 24 hours, a topic will be given, and then you will have to work it out. Note, the score of one judge cannot overturn that of the 2. And because of that, we have either a majority decision from the judges, and that means that 2 judges out of the 3 score for a school, or we have what we call unanimous decision, and that means all the 3 scored for the school. If you have any problem, you see the fine gentleman there, all right? Just complain to him, and then he will see to whatever your problem is. Again, reporting time is 12:30. Please, if you have any problem, inform us. Again, if you have any problem, inform us, because this program is for the whole nation, and one school cannot hold this program to a ransom. So, if we have a problem like that, we repeat, we will disqualify you. And with that, I'm done.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Peter Arthur, for running us through the rules of engagement and how the judges score. I just want to emphasize on a few of the things that Dr. Peter Arthur said a while ago. And I'd like to begin with the issue of time. A school was nearly disqualified today. Nearly disqualified today. And so to other schools who are watching us at their various premises or their various campuses, 12:30 is the reporting time. Now, we keep emphasizing this because one day when we take that action of disqualifying a school, our viewers and our audience and listeners are already privy to that information because we've already communicated that several times. A school was nearly disqualified today. 12:30 is the reporting time. Having said that, I just want to also say that Dr. Peter Arthur made mention of the fact that when you come and you are debating, make sure you don't rush the judges. You ought to be audible enough for them to appreciate, understand, and hear clearly what it is that you're saying. So if you come and you're rapping like some artist in the United States of America, they might not hear you clearly and they will deduct marks. You might think that you spoke very well. You rattled. They didn't hear you. take your time and speak. And that is why we have an accurate timekeeper who guides you. So you have him, for example, here, and for the principal speaker, you know you have 10 minutes. Now, when you have 3 more minutes to go on your time, he would alert you by doing this. And again, as a principal speaker, when your time is entirely up, the 10 minutes is up, this is what you hear. For the supporting speaker, you have 7 minutes. So when you are presenting, when you have 2 more minutes to go on your 7 minutes, he would alert you by doing this. And again, when your time is up, you hear this. I'm sure the principal speaker will return to give the summaries and stuff like that. You have 5 minutes. Now, when you have 2 more minutes to go on your 5 minutes, this is what you hear. And when your time is entirely up, you hear this. So don't rush the judges. Are we clear? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With that out of the way, I'd like to say to our audiences, our viewers on our socials, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, we appreciate you watching us, but don't just watch us. Drop comments. Let's get to know how you're enjoying the program. If a debater is wowing you, drop something, tell us something, so we share it with the rest of the world. For those of you watching us on television, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, why don't you pick up your phone, send a text message or call a friend and say, listen, the debate is just about to begin. With that out of the way, the motion for this afternoon, first contest between TI Amass and Kumasi High School is the teaching of feminism to our girls in our schools should stop. TI Amass, they are for the motion, and Kumasi High School, they are against the motion. Let me call on students from TI Amass. They were the very first winners of the Love FM High School's debate. Put your hands together for your own selves. When we began this competition, they won it. The very first edition, the very first time. Please stand on your feet for me. And you're standing so you can sing for us a school anthem. And like I always say to all the students that come through this auditorium, we want to see you smile. We've given you the Kel Charcoal toothpaste. It says happy smile. So smile broadly, nicely, beautifully. Let's see your smile, okay? Amass. Nah, you heard me say it well. Amass. Amass. Phobia. It's now time for you to sing for us your school anthem. Francis Drew, if you're ready, they are ready. So on 3, 1, 2, go. Indeed, we shall praise Allah to bless our school. Please put your hands together for students of TI Amass. And let's welcome their debaters. Please show them some love. Linus Adamu is the principal speaker. The supporting speaker is Abduladri Maratu. Oh, you can make noise for them if you want to. Yeah, that's the spirit. And like I said, they are one-time champions because they won this edition when this program, when it began some 8 years ago. Okay. Today we're going to go to school. The books that they have, big, huge, large. One more time, please put your hands together for them for me. We go to the opposing school. Imrantia. They are two-time champions of this very event. They won the 4th edition and they won the 6th edition as well. Please stand. And these are students from Kumasi High School. And they're standing and will be singing their school anthem as well. Imrantia, are you ready? Imrantia, are you ready? Imrantia, are you ready? Francis, they say they are ready. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. And you know, I love all the anthems, so I'm learning all the school anthems. So I'm singing along with you people. Please put your hands together for yourselves. You sang that anthem with pride and with joy. And with that out of the way, let's welcome your debaters as well. Principal speaker is Ronald Etiahene, supported by Raymond Opoku-Ajiman. Show them some love. Put your hands together for these gallant young men representing your school. One more time, the motion is the teaching of feminism to our girls in our schools should stop. Amass, they are for the motion, and of course, Kumasi High School, they are against the motion. Madam Chairperson, do we have your blessing? Panel of judges, are you ready? Accurate timekeeper, are you ready? Yes, nice one. So let's go to Amass and invite their principal speaker, Linus Adamu, to start the debate.
The standing chairperson, bold and just panel of jury, accurate timekeeper, court debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, and all other protocols duly observed. Good afternoon. Representing T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, Kumasi, I am Linus Adamu Zurkanain, principal speaker in full affirmation of the motion set before the August House today. I quote, the teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our schools should be ceased, unquote. Panel of judges, as the principal speaker, permit me to explain the key concept in the motion. As and when needed, exhibit will be sent in to back our claims. First, the term feminist ideology is defined by the Encyclopedia Britannica as the belief in social, economical, and political equality of the sexes. The term "seize" is defined by the Webster Immediate Dictionary as to bring something to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, the motion simply seems to posit that we should stop promoting feminist ideologies to girls in our schools and continue to educate and empower them through objective and subjective education. Panel of judges, we strongly support the motion. But the chair, if only feminist ideology meant that men and women are equal in rights and dignity, then we wouldn't have come here to debate, because under Article 17 and Article 27 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, girls' rights is promoted as a prescribed law and not just a simple theory to be taught in school. With this, the chair, the opposition have no business mounting this podium this afternoon to argue about girls' equality and girls' rights, because all of us seated in this auditorium this afternoon knows that girls' rights is protected by the 1992 Constitution and the Affirmative Action Act 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, all this into concept, our premier point in affirmation of the motion is that everything that my opponents seek is already enforced as a law in Ghana. Panel of judges, Ghana does not need to equip our girls with a particular feminist ideologies before they can understand their rights, because the Constitution has already spoken. Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution guarantees equality before the law and prohibit discrimination on the basis of gender, race, religion, and social status. With this, all these laws are enforceable in a Ghanaian court. Now, the chair, let's not forget about the PNDC Law 111, which protects girls' rights on inheritance when the father dies intestate. Panel of judges, with this, our argument is clear, because none of these laws requires a Ghanaian girl to adopt a contested political system as part of the school curriculum theory. Madam Chairperson, my opponent opponents want to give the girls a philosophy, and we want to give them a course of action. Because if the Constitution and the PNDC law protect them and gives them a right, then why must we place a feminist ideologies before them in a classroom? And this brings me to my second point. We support the motion because we know what actually works for the Ghanaian girls, and it is not just a simple ideology. There is no Ghanaian study that shows that teaching a girl feminist ideology will keep her in a school, but there are evidences that prove that scrapping off her fees will keep her in school. Ladies and gentlemen, a research on the Ghana's free senior high school policy introduced in the year 2017 and 2018 has shown a contested positive impact on girls' educational attainment, and also has reduced the higher rate of gender imbalances in education, as well as ensuring the higher enrollment of girls in education. Madam Chairperson, with this, my opponents should understand that our findings is just about money, access and fees, not just a simple theory. So we from the Phobians move to point number 3. We support the motion because we believe that the state ran this experiment once in 2019 and it failed. Panel of judges, in September 2019, the Ghana Education Service moved to introduce a comprehensive sexuality education as part of the basic school curriculum. Within 1 week, the president for the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Most Reverend Philip Nami, kicked against the decision. The national chief imam, Sheikh Nuhu Shaributu, also opposed the idea. At the Parliament House, the minority caucus petitioned alongside the clergy to oppose the idea. Now, the chair, if a decision within just 1 week have had the parliament and the most religious bodies against it, then why do my opponents mount this podium to argue about re-teaching feminist ideologies in our classroom? Ladies and gentlemen, this therefore brings me to my 4th point. We support the motion because we believe that Ghana has already achieved parity in access in education. Gender Parity Index measures the relative access of girls to boys in education. However, Ghana's Gender Parity Index, when it's at 1.0, then it means girls are it means exact parity. Anything more than that means girls are highly accessed to education as compared to boys. Now, a report in the year 2020 reveals that Ghana's gender parity was over 1.0, meaning girls were highly enrolled in the educational sector as compared to girls. Ladies and gentlemen, this gender parity further reveals that a report on enrollment of girls in primary school were higher as compared to girls, and also enrollment, or let me say kid students who were dropped out from school, more boys were dropped out from school as compared to girls. Ladies and gentlemen, a report by the World Bank in the year 2021 further revealed that most boys were dropped out from school with a total population approximately 513,000 against girls 482,000. Now, Madam Jackson, if more girls attend primary school than girls, and if there are more boys who are dropped out from school, I mean more than 31,000 boys who are dropped out from school as compared to girls, then it means that the parity access gap is closed. Therefore, there is no need for us to single out one gender on a forced mission, saying that we should take them, or we should take our girls through a feminist ideologies in school. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to point number 5. We support the motion because we believe that Ghanaian, or let me say African great women scholars have rejected this idea of feminism in our schools. Panel of judges, my opponents say that we should take our girls, or we should train our girls in terms of feminism ideologies in their school. Which of them? Is it the Oguyemi's humanism, which was seen as an act that reject the Western frame outrage, or the Akolonus modernism, which was seen as an alternative to a Western feminism? The chair, I mean, do they mean we should adopt with the Western liberal version of all these, which all the African women rejected this? Panel of judges, African women rejected all this because they felt this contradicts with the African tradition. Therefore, if African great women, including Ghanaian great professors, have objected the acceptance of feminism in Ghanaian schools, then why then do people calling themselves Mrantie mounting this podium to argue that girls should be taught feminism ideologies in their schools? Panel of judges, at this juncture, permit me to rebut certain fallacies my opponents may mount this podium to assert. They may argue that feminism will empower our girls. But the chair, this argument is very wonderful. Now, I have a simple question for my opponents. Does a girl need feminist label before they can be empowered? The chair, what do we need to empower our girls? We need education. We need leadership skills, academic excellence, parental support, and many others to empower our girls. We don't need any feminist ideas because UNICEF itself identified girls' education as a means needs to develop knowledge, skills, opportunities, and participation in terms of this. The chair of the House. So if my opponents mount this podium to argue about we using feminism to empower girls, that argument holds no water under scrutiny. They may also argue that feminism helps girls to know their rights. The chair. Ghana's constitution already provides fundamental rights and equality for girls in our schools, and therefore a girl does not need to become a right holder because she needs to become a feminism because she can hold a right. Panel of judges, a girl deserves to become a right holder because she is a human being or a citizen of a country. So I ask my opponent, why should we teach an ideology only to deliver rights to our girls? Oh, come on, my opponent. Let's check the House. My opponents may again argue that feminism will prevent discrimination in terms of girls and boys' relationship. But the chair, identifying a disease does not mean an automatic cure to the disease because gender discrimination is a problem, equality is a principle, law is a mechanism, and education is another. So where is the evidence that feminism will prevent discrimination? The chair of the House, if my opponents cannot provide any tangible evidence to prove that feminism will prevent discrimination, then their argument holds no water under scrutiny. They may also argue that feminism will prevent girls from sexual harassment. Ladies and gentlemen, feminism is not the only language that teachers can use to teach children and students under sexual harassment, because we can protect our girls and our students from sexual harassment through advocacy and empowerment, not feminism ideologies. Panel of judges, we the opposition believe that we shouldn't teach feminist ideologies in our schools because we can confidently point at hands on great personalities such as Amass SHS and many other Ghanaian personalities, including the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jenana Mensah Opoku-Agyeman, as all individuals who have contributed massively to the development of our nation. We can come home and point at Madam Jackson, Madam Patricia, Auntie Becca, and all other personalities who contribute to Ghana's development. Now, I put it to my opponent that they should mount this podium and point to only two individuals who through feminist ideologies is contributing to the development of our nation, Ghana. If they don't have any evidence to prove their claims, then they shouldn't mount this podium at all. The chair, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, debaters, fellow students, all other protocols duly observed. I call you all to rally behind me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a girl who knows her worth is never a threat to the society. She is an asset to it. So, if teaching girls to understand their rights, challenge injustice, and believe in their potentials is termed feminism, of which T.I. Amass journeyed here to condemn, then I implore all of us to be feminist, as trumpeted by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. With this, greetings to you, the ever-wise chairperson, the bold and impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, colleague debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ronald Etuahene Echampon, the principal speaker for Kumasi High School, in full opposition of the resolution before us today, which I quote and unquote. The teaching of feminism in our schools to our girls should cease. The House, before I proceed with my submission, allow me to decipher some key technicalities in the motion for the simplest understanding of all and sundry. Feminist ideology, which can also be termed as feminism, is defined by Global Media Journal as the movement that advocates for gender equality, focusing on social, political, and economic equality of sexes. Feminism gained momentum in 1844 at the Seneca Falls Convention in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, feminism gained momentum in 1848. The House. In Africa, we are honored to have feminists like Amass SHS and our own alphabet, Madam Theodosia Jackson, whose voices have powered thousands of girls. The House, cease as used in this motion is defined by cease as used in this motion is defined by Collins Dictionary as to stop something from happening or existing. All in all, the House, the motion simply seeks to posit that girls should not be taught feminist ideas in schools. With this, to our first point in full opposition of this motion, we argue that teaching girls feminist ideologies has the tendency to empower them academically and professionally. The House, feminist ideologies encourages girls to question traditional gender expectations and see education, leadership, and professional careers as possibilities for them too. Ladies and gentlemen, it would interest you to know that Madam Jackson, after 40 years of education, became the principal and co-founder of the Jackson's University College. Her institution has trained over 18,000 of teachers through distance lesson. Education did not simply give her certificate, it also gave her knowledge and platform to influence thousands of people. Ladies and gentlemen, we can also acknowledge other names such as Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, who is the first female vice president of Ghana. So the chair, the house, this is what empowerment actually looks like. Now the chair, to our second point in full opposition of this motion, we argue that teaching girls feminist ideologies promote gender equality and human rights. Dr. Arthur, most of us can attest to the fact that in our societies, we normally hear stereotypes such as girls are not brilliant enough to pursue courses such as law, engineering, and medicine. But that is an outdated form of reason which needs serious diagnosis, because the chair, ladies should be empowered, girls should be empowered to offer all the courses they want. The house, for clarity and understanding, please let us watch this video as Professor Elsie Efakufman discusses challenging gender stereotypes in schools.
How supportive were your parents with your decision to do science first and also to travel abroad? Because there are lots of stereotypes about what girls can do, and I'm guessing this is in the 80s.
Yes.
So for your dad and mom to be told you're going to be a science student and then you're going to go to the US as a young girl to go and learn bioengineering. So just tell me about that dynamic.
Yes, I will forever thank my parents for the way they raised us. We were not, I didn't even know that people were discriminated against in terms of their gender when it came to going to school, when it came to studying subjects, because it was never an issue in our household. They did well that way. Both of my parents were teachers.
Correct.
And their belief, my father especially, was that you pick what you want to do and you make sure you are the best or one of the best at it.
You pick what you want to do and make sure you are the best or one of the best at it indeed. The chair, this means that if I am a girl and I know I have the capabilities to become an engineer, I should be given that opportunity to prove it and not to be told that I can't simply because I am a girl and with that I am less intelligent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the empowerment in which Emrantier is preaching. Now the chair, to our third point in full opposition of this motion, we argue that teaching girls feminism protects girls from abuse and harmful treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, feminist ideologies teaches girls whenever their rights are being violated, understand their worth, and be able to stand and speak against injustice. The house, feminist ideologies teaches girls that they being female doesn't mean that their rights should be infringed, or they being female doesn't mean they should accept harmful treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, in Ghana, 16% of women aged between 20 and 24 were married when they were 18. The house, this means that thousands of girls still out there are facing life-changing decisions which has an effect in their future. Ladies and gentlemen, let me shock you with another revelation. A study by Science Direct found that since 2021, Afghanistan women are being stripped of their rights. They are being seized from public lives, and the girls in Afghanistan are being banned from education. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask, is this the lives we want for our girls? Certainly not. Now the chair, to our fourth point in full opposition of this motion, we argue that teaching girls feminist ideologies build confidence and respect, build confidence and leadership skills in them. Ladies and gentlemen, if Mama Lou was here, would testify to her own 2023 report study that shows that African women need to pursue self-expression and liberalization and also be able to speak against their rights. The house, ladies, the house. This means that feminist ideologies is indeed should be taught in our schools. Ladies and gentlemen, to our fifth point in full opposition of this motion, we argue that teaching girls feminist ideologies encourages them to think, encourages critical thinking and eschews indoctrination. The House. Teaching feminist ideologies to girls doesn't mean that they will be taught to fight boys or any other thing. But the House, it means that when they are being taught, they would know their right and they would be able to stand and speak against injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, feminist ideologies is indeed a remarkable thing in which we should support. The House, it would interest you to know that a gender and education studies revealed that girls are being trained and empowered to be powerful speakers in future. Ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed the empowerment Emrantia is preaching. Now the chair to some assertions made by my opponents. The principal speaker mounted this podium. In the third point of the principal speaker, he alluded that Ghana introduced sexuality and education and it failed in 2019. But the House, that is overgeneralization because feminism is not a one-year ideology. The fact that sexuality failed doesn't mean that feminist ideologies will fail because feminist ideology is not only about sexuality. In fact, there are types of feminism. We have radical feminism and legal feminism. So what do you mean that the fact that sexuality failed means we should cease feminism? Ladies and gentlemen, he also asserted that girls does not need to be, they also asserted that a girl needs to be feminist even though the 1992 constitution shows them their rights. But the House, a girl does not need to be a feminist because she is holding her rights. But the House, the fact that the constitution protects their rights does not mean that we cannot teach it again. In fact, even if we are to teach it again, they would be exposed much to it. So with this, what do you mean that we should cease feminism? Ladies and gentlemen, it's all said and done. Thank you.
The ever-wise chairperson, bold and impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, heads of schools present, management of Love FM, co-debaters, fellow students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As a student of TI Ahmadiyya Senior High School, Kumasi today, I am Abdul Kader Maretu, a bold and a passionate supporting speaker, speaking in full affirmation of the motion quote, the teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our school should cease, unquote, impartial panel of judges, since my ideal principal speaker has done justice to the key themes embedded in the motion per my role as a supporting speaker. I will therefore proceed with more points. In light of this, point number 6, the chair, we support the motion because the new curriculum is overloaded and needs to be cleansed. According to the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, the broad nature of Ghana's curriculum presents a challenge to teachers with far too many curricular aims to teach and test. If your phone is lagging because it is overloaded, what do you do? If not to uninstall some useless app, our own curriculum authority says that there is more in the curriculum, and what we propose that we prune it. Our opponent's suggestions is that we rather add more. Unbelievable. Point 7, the chair. We support the motion because Ghanaian educational system is already failing at its core function. Many Ghanaian, including girls in primary schools, cannot read and write well. What they need to be taught is how to read and write, and not how to imbibe feminist ideologies. The chair, speaking in Accra on June 2024, Professor Mark Adam Asamoah, National Policy Advisor, disclosed that 53% of Ghanaian children aged 10 lack proficiency in literacy and numeracy, and this is the system. That's my opponent wants us to teach feminist ideologies. Again, while Ghana runs 12 years of basic education from primary 1 to SHS 3, World Bank research files that the average knowledge of a Ghanaian school leaver was equivalent to 6 years. 12 years in, 6 years out. Pathetic, isn't it? That is why we are saying if more than half our 10-year-old children cannot read a simple sentence, then we must not teach them feminist ideologies, or else we'll be adding insults to injury. Point 8, the chair. We support the motion because teaching feminist ideologies only to girls is discriminatory. Article 17, Clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution prohibits discrimination on grounds of gender. The chair, a curriculum that delivers a body of instruction to one sex and withhold it from other is on itself discriminatory on grounds of gender. My opponents say that they want equality for boys and girls, but their method is to teach only girls. You cannot build equality while educating half the classroom. If feminist ideologies are valuable, then why teach only girls? If it is safe for only girls, then let me remind them that that is not education, it is recruitment. The chair impartial panel of judges, at this point, allow me to correct some mistakes that my opponent mounted this podium to assert. My opponent asserted that feminism empower girls. Wonderful. But it seems you didn't hear my principal speaker. My principal speaker said that you must answer this question. Does a girl need feminist label before she can be powerful? No, because education, leadership, academic excellence, and parental support can empower her. Because universe itself identify girls' education as a means of developing skills, knowledge, opportunities. So what are they presenting us? As though feminism owns the key to female empowerment. Again, in their point 2, they asserted that feminism. Again, in their point 2, they asserted that feminism promotes equality. But answer this question. Is equality owned by feminism? If equality belongs to feminism, then you should tell us who gave feminism the copyright over equality. Ghana's constitution, Article 27, already guarantees equality before the law and prohibits discrimination, including discrimination based on gender. So the chair, if destination is equality, why are my opponents insisting that feminism ideology must be the vehicle? Point 3, they asserted that feminist ideologies protect girls from abuse, but must a girl become a feminist before she will be handed protection? Protection against abuse comes from law, safeguarding system, and education. Teach the girl how to recognize abuse and where to report it, and teach her rights. With all this, no one needs to undergo feminist ideologies in institution. In their 4th point, they asserted that feminism ideologies boost their confidence, but a girl becomes confident when she discovers her abilities, developing competence, and learns to believe in itself. A girl who wants a science competition does not need a feminist certificate before she can be called confident. It is upon these reasons that I call all and sundry to support us in full affirmation of the motion, quote and unquote. The teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our school should cease, unquote. Thank you.
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie once told the world that we all should be feminists. The chair, this motion is not about protecting education. It is about preserving the silence, fear, and inequality that have prevented many young girls from realizing their true potential. Madam Jackson, feminist education does not teach girls to disrespect men or reject society. It teaches them to protect their rights. The chair and the house, good afternoon. Representing Kumasi High School, I am Raymond Opoku Ademan, the supporting speaker speaking against the motion which I quote, the teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our schools should cease, unquote. The chairperson, since my principal speaker has laid the groundwork and reviewed the cracks and fractures within this motion, I therefore proceed to buttress our stance with more points. In light of this, point 6, we debate that the teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our schools prepares them for the modern world. Ladies and gentlemen, feminist ideologies equips girls with confidence, critical skills, and awareness of their rights, preparing them to compete and lead in a modern world. The chair, we can say this in the lives of so many women, including our very own Ghanaian writer, Amma Ata Edu, whom I believe that all of us here have at least read one of her books, including my lovely gadget sitting here. And we can also talk about Professor Nana Opoku Ademan, who rose through academia, including serving as the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, to becoming Ghana's first female Vice President. The chair, UNESCO reported on the 4th of August 2025 that 244 million fewer women than men use the internet globally, while Meanwhile, in sub-Saharan Africa, for every 100 men with spreadsheet skills, only 40 to 44 women possess the same level of proficiency. The chair, the house, UNESCO therefore advocates for gender transformative education that equips girls with confidence and critical skills needed for the future. The chair, the house, we can see this potential in our very own country through Bosompé Girls STEM SHS, whose students participated in the 2026 Wilberforce Championship and secured 4th place in the whole wide world, thereby demonstrating how empowering girls to challenge traditional gender expectations prepares them for modern opportunities. Point 7, the house, we debate that we should continue teaching feminist ideologies to girls in our schools because feminism corrects historical imbalance in textbooks. Ladies and gentlemen, feminist education helps correct the historical underrepresentation of women in textbooks, where the achievements of men have often received greater attention and recognition. The chair, you just open to the back of any history textbook and you'll see so many achievements of men, including wars won by men and revolutions won by men. But I asked T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, where are our women? Where are the lives of Yasantua, who led the Ashanti War even when gallant men were afraid to lead? The chair, an empirical evidence is a 2019 academic study examining Ghanaian social studies textbooks that found that accounts of colonialism and independence were overwhelmingly male-dominated. Dr. Arthur, it will shock you to note that in one aspect covering ancient Ghanaian history, 26 male names were mentioned, but not even a single female character was mentioned, despite the important political roles historically played by queen mothers, thereby demonstrating how empowering girls to challenge traditional gender expectations prepares them. Now the chair, to our 8th and final point, we debate that stopping the teaching of feminist ideologies violates the right to information on the part of girls. Ladies and gentlemen, feminist education, or rather, education should not decide that girls are matured enough to learn mathematics, science, and history, but somehow not matured enough to learn about their own rights and equality. The chair, at the 1995 Beijing conference, 189 countries adopted the platform for action, which identified gender-biased curricula and teaching materials as factors that reinforce gender inequality. The chair, it therefore called for education that removes gender stereotypes and promotes awareness of women's contributions. Madam Jackson, this evidence clearly supports the teaching of feminist ideologies because feminism gives women the concept through which they can understand gender inequality, question stereotypes, and also recognize their rights. Therefore, stopping them from learning these ideas will deprive them of knowledge that the international community has accepted as important in addressing gender discrimination. Now, the chair, some assertions made by the Phobians on the ground. The chair, the Phobians presented this evidence, saying Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution already protects women's rights. But the chair, the house, I won't take you far. Let me take you to Afghanistan. UNESCO reported that Afghanistan is the only country in the whole wide world where women are prohibited from continuing their education to secondary and tertiary education after basic level schools, even though they have a constitution that prepares and protects their rights. So what are my opponents trying to say? Also, the chair, they brought evidence that shows that scraping feminist ideologies will keep girls in schools. But the chair, they didn't bring evidence of that. But the chair, that is a fallacy of insufficient rebuttals and evidence, because if you don't have evidence, how will you mind this podium to say that there aren't enough evidences? But I support it. The chair and the house, my opponents also talked about, because boys are sacked from schools and girls stay in school, we should stop teaching feminist ideologies. What are my opponents trying to say? The chair, the house, if boys are sacked from schools, what shows that feminism ideologies won't teach girls to also help their brother boys? The chair and the house, my opponents, next time learn before you man this podium. Also, my opponents asserted that great leaders have rejected feminism ideologies, so we should also stop teaching feminist ideology. The chair, that is the hasty generalization. Just because one person has stopped or rejected this doesn't mean that we all should stop teaching feminist ideologies. Also, my opponents asserted, asked us the question that does a girl need feminist education before she can be empowered? The chair, it is part of it, because feminist education empowers girls to recognize their rights, question stereotypes, and also be aware of their responsibilities and freedom. The chair and the right, they mentioned that Amass SHS and Nana Opoku-Agyeman were contributing to this, and that blah blah blah. But the chair and the house, let me tell you something. Nana Opoku-Agyeman and Amass SHS were as a result of feminist education, and that is why they are contributing to this country today. So how come my opponents mount this podium to say that? Also, the chair, my opponents, the chair, the house, my opponents are saying that girls are incapable to of evaluating ideas for themselves. But the chair, my opponent's solution to a potentially controversial idea is to remove the idea from the classroom. But that assumes that girls cannot hear an argument without becoming prisoners of that argument. And Amass, do not underestimate the intellectual capacity of the girl child. I can even see you have a female supporting speaker. Hey, the chair and the house, teach her the argument, teach her the counter argument, and teach her how to access books. After all, if our girls are intelligent enough to learn law, science, economics, and many others, why are they suddenly considered incapable of critically examining? The chair, the house, I rest my case.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have mounted this podium once again to present a decent summary of the cogent points my supporting speaker and I raised in affirming the motion quote, the teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our schools should cease. Point 1, we argue that everything my opponents seek is already enforced as a law in Ghana. Therefore, Article 17 and the PNDC law protect our stance. Panel of judges, point number 2, we argue that we know what actually works for Ghanaian girls, and it is not an ideology. Point 3, we argue that the state ran similar experiment in 2019 and it failed. Therefore, we shouldn't adopt feminine ideology as part of our school curriculum system. Point 4, we argue that Ghana has already achieved a parity in access in education. Therefore, we shouldn't adopt feminine ideology. Point 5, we argue that African women scholars themselves rejected Western feminism. Point 6, we supported the motion because the curriculum is overloaded and needs to be cleansed. Point 7, we argue that Ghana's education is already failing at its core mandate. Therefore, we shouldn't accept feminism. Point 8, we argue that teaching feminist ideology to only girls is itself discriminatory. Panel of judges, my opponents mounted this podium, I mean the supporting speaker, and he tendered in this evidence to support his stance. There is a saying, he who asserts must prove. Is this an evidence that we use to prove our stance? You've used an AI to generate this to come here to debate. This is not meant for a debate. Panel of judges, this is not a credible evidence we can rely on. They again use this evidence and talking about gender equality, saying that at the 1995, in September 1995, the Beijing in China talking about equality and blah blah blah. Panel of judges, they themselves proposing equality in gender. Panel of judges, the idea is their school, Kumasi High School, it's a boys' school. They don't allow girls to attend their school, and you are here proposing that you want equality, meanwhile you don't allow girls to attend your school. Is this equality? We are proposing equality. I have myself as a principal speaker, a male, with my supporting speaker being a female. This is the equality we are talking about, and not you don't allow a girl to attend your school. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent again asserted that Jenana Mensa Upukwajimai, Ama Ata Edu, being a feminist, and they have contributed massively to their lives' development. But let's ask ourselves this simple question. Jenana, Ama Ata Edu is the author, right? She attended school in order to be able to have the knowledge in terms of writing storybooks, which have contributed and have reached a larger audience in terms of the whole West Africa, the whole Africa, and the world as well. They talked about Jenana Mensa Upukwajimai. She is a professor, not just a simple vice president, a professor who attended school before being able to become the professor she is now. Now, the house, my opponents tendered in a video of Professor Elsie Kaufman, who is the quiz mistress for NSMQ. Now, this professor was talking about education and gender equality. Now, the house, she became a professor through education, not through feminism ideology or feminism institutions. Therefore, that argument does not add up anywhere. My opponent, next time, when you are mounting a podium to tender in an evidence, think about it before you come here to debate. Let's check the house. They talked about my supporting speaker being a female. I think he lost his words. That is why he was talking about that, because we are proposing equality. That is why we mounted this podium with a boy and a girl to show that yes, indeed, equality is working. Panel of judges, they said that my point 3 was talking about was a full of hasty generalization. They also jumped into a hasty conclusion because they didn't understand the point. How can you say that we are talking about hasty generalization? I'm saying that Ghana's free SHS has great access to girls in education. If without the free SHS, most of the girl students have access to education. Therefore, their rebuttals does not add up anywhere. They talk about abuse boosting of confidence and critical thinking. Let's share the house. Critical thinking comes from where? Education. We are going through education in order so that we can be able to think critically in solving problems. Does feminism ideology teach students how to think critically? That is seriously no. So their argument does not add up anywhere. They talk about RoboFest. That is an robotic competition. Now the chair, how can you do a robotic competition without acquiring academic excellence and skills? The argument does not add up anywhere. That is why today I have mounted this podium to dismantle that. They talk about this violating girls' rights and education should not be seized from teaching feminism ideology. We propose that feminism ideology cannot be part of our curriculum system because it is not reaching its core mandate, because the Ghana Education Service is supposed to train students. Meanwhile, our curriculum system is almost full and we cannot contain that as part of our curriculum system.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am on my feet once again, not to circumlocute, but to summarize the cogent point raised by my supporting speaker and I in full opposition of the resolution before us today, which I quote and unquote. The teaching of feminist ideologies to girls in our schools should cease. Ladies and gentlemen, we contended that 1, teaching girls feminist ideologies has the tendency to empower them academically and professionally. 2, teaching girls feminist ideologies promotes gender equality and rights. 3, teaching girls feminist ideologies protects them from abuse and harmful treatment. 4, teaching girls teaching girls feminist ideologies is a means to build confidence and leadership skills. 5, teaching girls feminist ideologies encourages critical thinking and eschews indoctrination. 6, teaching girls feminist ideologies prepares them for the modern world. 7, teaching girls feminist ideologies corrects historical imbalances in textbooks. And 8, seizing feminist ideologies violates the right of information. Now the chair to some assertions made by our opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listened clearly to our opponent's argument, you would notice that their arguments were centered on the fact that feminist ideology will bring about indoctrination. But the house, that is a fallacy of false generalization. Because whilst we practice democracy, not all of us are politicians. So do feminism. They again asserted that schools should teach knowledge and not ideology. That is a fallacy of dilemma, because we acknowledge the fact that schools teaching other things aside feminist ideology can indeed empower girls. But let me ask Amass, does that mean that because history is taught as part of social studies, then teachers should cease teaching elective history? Certainly not. They also alluded that girls already perform academically, so feminist education isn't necessary. But the chair, this is also a hasty conclusion. The academic success of many girls cannot logically prove that gender inequality no longer exists. Examination results are not the same as things as equality in the society. They also alluded that the supporting speaker argued that we only teaching girls feminism but not boys is not equality. But the house, this motion should remind us of the words of Bell Hooks when she said, and I quote, "Feminism is for everybody." I repeat, feminism is for everybody. So what do you mean that we teaching girls feminism proves there's not equality? Ladies and gentlemen, they also alluded that feminism will in feminism. They also alluded that, ladies and gentlemen, yes, they also alluded that the fact that Kumasi High School is a boys' school, so we should go in favor of this motion. But the house, this is a fallacy of ad hominem, because where they attack persons saying instead of the logic behind what we were saying. Ladies and gentlemen, they have already accepted defeat and wanted to turn this into personal attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, they also alluded that we used AI to generate an evidence. But ladies and gentlemen, they should prove where it is AI, because this is a quote, not an evidence from an actual source. They also alluded that They all rebutted that confidence. They also rebutted our confidence point. But they repeated the rebuttals for 2 times, and a repeated rebuttal is a lifetime embarrassment. Ladies and gentlemen, if they didn't have this, they alluded that if girls do not have the skills, how would they have placed forth in the STEM? They would have placed forth in the STEM competition. But ladies and gentlemen, it seems they didn't have rebuttals right. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of feminism is not only about we teaching them from the core, because if they have the education, after teaching them feminism, they would be exposed much to it. Ladies and gentlemen, after all that have been said, I rest my case.
All right, so those are supporters of the various schools who are with us in the auditorium here at the Christian Service University. And after that fierce contest between Amass and Kumasi High School, they are just, giving funds to their debaters by, making that pronouncement in the auditorium. Please put your hands together for these young, amazing debaters. And before the competition began, I told you that it was going to be hectic. I told you it was going to be fiery. I told you it's going to be worth your while. And indeed, it's been worth my while. I'm sure it's been worth your while as well. Everybody has put your hands together for that one more time. Linus, when you was doing your summaries, you were like, you want to continue the debate? Time will not permit you or allow you to do that. Please put your hands together for them as they take their seats. And to them right here, there's too much movement in the auditorium. Please take your seats and enjoy the debate. Thank you very much. Too much movement in the auditorium. Now, before I go to Patricia and Becca, listen. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is here with us. It's been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary protocols and approved by the FDA. Now, listen. The constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you fresh breath, whitens your teeth, reduces dental plaques, prevents cavity, and makes gum healthy and strong. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years and above. Get a pack at a local supermarket today. It is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Call them on 0246-864798 or 050-145-4462. For bulk purchase and enquiries, you can get in touch with Kel Charcoal toothpaste, where of course you get to have your happy smile. Partnering for this year's event is Christian Service University. Now, they are admitting students for the 2026-2027 academic year. Now, for over 50 years, Christian Service University has been training ethical and visionary leaders who are making a difference in Ghana and beyond. Apply now for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs, including the flagship Doctor of Ministry in Christian Leadership and Management. Gain holistic education grounded in Christian values with opportunities in scholarships, entrepreneurship, and employability for a better future. Log on to www.csuc.edu.gh or locate Christian Service University at Star Junction, Santasi. Christian Service University, the university of choice. Jackson University College is also a proud sponsor. Now, they offer master's programs in English and Maths education, guidance and counseling, and educational leadership and administration. They also offer bachelor, post-diploma, and postgraduate programs in education. So you can sign up for their short IT courses in digital marketing, software engineering, cybersecurity, web development, data analyst, and more. You can call Jackson University College right now for inquiries on 020-126-0290. Becca, did you enjoy the first contest?
Oh, David, you have no idea. You have no idea. The room is actually warm, even though the fans are on and it's quite breezy. It's really hot in here. But then we would like to say a very big thank you to Oneplex 400. Worms can affect your health. And so you need Oneplex 400 to help eliminate all kinds of worms in your body. Oneplex 400 is a sweet, easy to chew tablet and can be taken at any time of the day. It is suitable for children above 1 year. Breastfeeding and pregnant mothers must consult their physician first before taking any dewormer. Get Oneplex 400 at any pharmacy, and for bulk purchases, contact JM Ado & Sons.
Now let's say thank you to Amass Community Bank PLC. They have been doing the work of God. Yes, when you talk of the gospel in banking, they are the ones actually doing the job, because since 1983 they have been serving individuals, institutions, businesses, government and private sector workers with safe, convenient, banking solutions. I must say, they operate every kind of account, and they also give you the most flexible interest rate loans. Enjoy their digital banking services today by dialing *992#. Also visit their newest branch at Mansike Niago and their headquarters at Antwerp Chrome. Find the other branches of our Amass Community Bank today at Manson Kwanta, Manswe Dubia, Mansoda Tano, Bekwai, Anyang Kwanta, Akrokeri, Roman Hill, Asim, Ahojo Atinga Junction, Santase, and also Sofo Line. Amass Community Bank PLC, we are your reliable financial partner.
New Generation Investment Services NGIS offers managed investments, also assists with pension planning and manages Tier 2 and Tier 3 pensions. Secure your future with our Enidaso Mutual Fund, NGIS Money Market Fund, and private funds. Speak to any of our seasoned advisors about your investment goals and aspirations today. NGIS is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. NGIS, achieving excellent returns on your investment.
Now, every child with a bright future depends on the foundation laid for them at the very basic level of their lives. And so, if you are a school or a parent looking for quality NACA and GS approved English, Maths, Science, and Computing textbooks for your ward, then please contact Best Brains Publications today at Pankrono Kumasi. Best Brains Publications, securing tomorrow's academic well-being today.
Write effortlessly with Seppo Mystical Original Pen. Enjoy smooth, precise, smudge-free lines every time you write. Get yours today in blue, black, or red. Locate Seppo products at Paul Sego Lane here in Kumasi and Okanshi in Accra. Seppo Mystical Original Pen, your #1 choice for premium writing.
Now, if you're looking for a place where they can polish all your old ornaments and also offer you flexible payment plans, if you're looking for a place where you can get your wedding, engagement, or promise ring made with quality, elegant, affordable white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, and silver rings, then the place you need to make your way to right now, it's St. Ben's Jewelry. They will also give you earrings, bracelets, watches, and all accessories right there. Now, locate them at Amakom Kumasi, right opposite the Edward Nasser building, and also find them at Edum inside the Chelsea House, right opposite the Standard Chartered Bank. St. Ben's Jewelry, we say just dream it and it will be done for you.
At this point in time, I might have to get myself a chilled Bigo Cola, because Charlie, everywhere make hot. For your parties, funerals, family day out, and any social gathering, grab your favorite Bigo drink today. Bigo comes in cola, grape, orange, coconut, pineapple, apple, lemon, and cocktail flavors. Get a chilled, affordable bottle of Bigo Cola at any supermarket or even in traffic. Bigo is another quality product from Trillium Industrial Company Limited. Bigo, we say big refreshing moments.
And another quality product that is coming from the camp of Trillium Industrial Company Limited is Vena Mineral Water. And remember that this time around, we want you to go out on the market and get the 750 ml medium bottle right now. Okay, remember that Vena Mineral Water is nature's finest and is also been recommended by the Ghana Medical Association.
Otuya Sekai Community Bank has the right account just for you. They have current, savings, fixed deposit, Susu, and infant savings accounts. Enjoy affordable salary, Susu, business, funeral, group loans, and many more at low interest rates. We also offer Western Union, eSwitch, iTrans, mobile money, and Ghana Pay services. You can locate Otuya Sekai Community Bank at Kofiase, Mampong, Ejura, Sepebokrum, Abofo, Macro, in Kinkenso, Swami Market, and Dr. Mensa. Otuya Sekai Community Bank, your savior in community banking.
Now, if you're a parent or a school and you want your wards to actually get it right when it comes to BC, then please make sure that you are going to any bookshop across the country right now to get Tamak questions and answers textbooks right now. With that, you get to prepare your students very, very smarter. Now, remember that Tamak questions and answer booklets or textbooks, I must say, is packed with current BEC past questions, answers, marking schemes, exam tips, and strategies for all major subjects. Tamak questions and answers textbooks will also help boost the confidence level of every student preparing for BECE. Locate Tamak in Kumasi and Accra.
We'd like to say a big thank you also to Franzacos Limited. From the heart of Ghana, Rizzo Gari is is made from carefully selected cassava, traditionally processed and hygienically prepared to deliver the authentic taste and quality you can trust. Rich, nourishing, and conveniently packed in easy-to-open, resealable pouches, Rizo Gari is perfect for home, school, work, or as a quick and satisfying meal. We also have Rizo Shito, Enomansa Fufu flour, cassava flour, Zimo cereal legume mix, cassava chips, and starch. Get them at shops nationwide, and for bulk purchases, visit Franzacos Limited.
Now from September 10th to 16th, 2026, you can explore the wild beauty of Kenya and the glamour of Dubai, Kankesi, the sea travels. Now, if you're also a business person, you get the opportunity to join the China Canton Fair Business Expedition from October 26th to November 9, 2026. All Kankesi, the sea travels. Now, they will handle your flights, your hotel reservation, your breakfast, your visa support, your airport transfers, the tourism, taxes, and all tours stress-free for you. Visit the Sea Travels today at Ahojo Atinga Junction, right opposite the DHL office.
From little learners in crèche to confident scholars in primary and JHS, Orion Cyrus Publications provide the books they need to succeed. Our colorful storybooks, engaging workbooks, and curriculum-approved textbooks make learning fun and also improve academic performance. With books in English, math, science, history, coding, robotics, and many more, we help children learn, grow, and excel. Find Orion Cyrus Publications nationwide. And lastly on my list, we would like to say a very big thank you to Didi Shito. We say homemade taste.
Okay, so from Didi Shito, let's say thank you finally to Broadview Christian Academy. Now, every parent wants a child who is responsible, confident, knowledgeable, grounded in godly values, and finally someone who will excel in their exams. And at Broadview Christian Academy, we combine these with Christian-centered character development. Our carefully selected learning materials makes learning engaging and easy to understand. Now, we also have a modern ICT lab with 24/7 internet, ultra-modern library, well-ventilated classrooms, dedicated teachers, and we provide the foundation that your child needs. Broadview is located off the Kote Road, that's right directly opposite the KNUST Business School gate. Broadview Christian Academy, that is the place where godly character meets academic excellence.
Please put your hands together for those beautiful, amazing women there, Becca and Patricia. We'll be coming back later. Becca, for example, will be reading for you messages from our socials, that is to say on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, even TikTok. She'll be sharing all that with you later. Now, to those of you watching us on television on Joy Prime and Joy Learning, we're not going away. We're not ended yet. We're just going to take a 5-minute break. When we return, we'll have a mouthful. They are the defending champions. They've won this competition on 2 occasions. And then Kresek, I know you can hear me from the foyer. Kresek. Well, I can hear them. I don't know whether you heard them as well. But we'll be right back in 5 minutes. And that second contest for the day will begin in 5. Stay with us.
Is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigation.
All right, so if you have to use the restroom, kindly do so. And Mantia, you'll be back in the auditorium. Don't think you're done, so you have to be laundering, please.
For the debaters of Prempeh College and debaters of Church of Christ, listen to me carefully. I don't know whether where you are you can hear me. Debaters for the 2 schools, Prempeh College and Church of Christ. Where are the debaters? Prempeh College, your debaters outside. You're here. Raise your hand if I can see you, so I can see you. The 2 of you, please. When you mount the podium and sit behind your desk, this is for the sponsors. It's for advertisements. Don't drink it. Okay, some of you are drinking it, so don't drink. If you want, we'll give you yours before you mount the podium. We can give you a bottle of water or drink before you mount the podium. Church of Christ debaters, don't take the drink on the table. Don't use the water on the table. It is for the television cameras. Please, if you want water, ask any of the Love FM team, and they will give you water before you take your seat. I hope I've made myself clear. Thank you. auditorium. Students, get back into the auditorium. Amanfo, we need you here. Chrisek, we need you. We also need some of the students from Kumasi High School, as well as Amass. Let's fill up the auditorium, please. Let's fill up the auditorium right now, please.
High School debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Love FM Calchaco Praise High School debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Love FM Calchaco Praise High School debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
Prempeh College. Amanfo, we need you back in the auditorium.
This is not just to Prempeh College, it is all the students in the auditorium. We keep saying this to you, but please, give us the energy. So if Becca says Amanfo is seniors, Amanfo is seniors, you are not giving her the impetus and energy she needs. Okay, please. It's not just for Prempeh, it's for all the schools here present. So let's try it one more time. Chrisek. Thank you. Chrisek. Chrisek. Amanfo. Thank you. Amanfo. All right, thank you. We'll be going in the next 2 minutes or less. Thank you.
Debate Championship. Love FM Calchaco Praise High School debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Love FM Calchaco Praise High School debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
In Ghana today, when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quietly.
My opponent obviously generated their points from alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Love FM Calchaco
For the last time, Amanfo and Church of Christ, if you have anything you want to use as exhibits that you want to be projected for you, please furnish Francis with it. This is the very last time I'm saying this. If you have anything you want to show on the monitors as exhibit, please give it to this fine gentleman to my left, Francis. Thank you. And again, to the debaters, I know some of you would want to drink something like water or some drink. These ones are for the television. So don't touch it, please. If you want water, see this lady. Jenny, stand, please. Jenny, stand. Or, okay, I said stand, so you are pretty pageant. No, go put over here. So that's beautiful, Jennifer there. If you're a debater, you want water or drink, see her before you mount the podium so she can make it available for you. Thank you. And then oftentimes when the debaters are speaking, there's too much movement in the auditorium. Please be mindful. Thank you.
You saw Contest 3 was between the two former winners, that's Tia Media Senior High School and Kumasi High School, yes, I must say. Now, Contest 4 is going to be between the defending champions, Prempeh College and Church of Christ Senior High School, Ahote 4 versus Amass 4. Amazing schools are going to argue for and against the motion code. Adding towing services to insurance premium is disingenuous, unquote. Prempeh College will argue for the motion, and Church of Christ Senior High School is going to argue against the motion. Wherever you are, we are so live for radio, Love 99.5 FM, on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and also on our social media handles right wherever you are. And so that's my favorite part of this part is my favorite part of the whole show, where we get to hear the things the school actually mentioned before everything sets rolling on stage. And so I'm going to go straight now to the school that is representing the motion, that's Prempeh College. I have a very handsome student here. Share with me in 30 seconds your name and what Prempeh College is doing today. You are defending champion.
Okay, now Marfo, the outgoing WDS president for Prempeh College. Today, our boys are poised for action. We did not come here alone. Emmanuel, the Lord is with us. So stay calm, stay tuned, and enjoy the wonderful performance from Prempeh College. Thank you.
Okay, now let me go to this gentleman also from Church of Christ Senior High School in 30 seconds. Tell us something.
All right, so I'm a champion blessing. Live from 2024 semi for Church of Christ Senior High School. And then what I have for the opposition is that they shouldn't underestimate a school who has to rewrite history. We wish them well and they made the best school ever victorious. Thank you.
Okay, now let me just go straight to your patron who is right next to you, sir. In 30 seconds, share also with us what we should take away from Church of Christ.
All right, my name is Desmond. I'm the WDS patron for Church of Christ Senior High School. I know we are competing with the defending champion, but for today, we are all starting from the round of 16. The judges are not going to award them marks because they are defending champions. They are going to award marks based on what we are going to do. And what I am seeing, I know by the grace of the day, we are going to emerge victorious. As my boy said, we are going to rewrite history. So we are going to, as we school eliminated the defending champion, Church of Christ Senior High School.
Okay, do you have any rebuttals, Prempeh College?
But you know me, I would never say I'm going to win. But I just want to respond by saying it's not a fluke. This is the 8th edition. For the past 7 editions, we've been to the final 4 times, winning 2. So if you are here talking as if you are the one going to do it, let's give thanks to God. Amen.
Give thanks to God, but let's also give thanks to the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of First of Assisted Senior High Schools, and also title sponsor, that is Kel Chaco Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. And you know when we say Kel Chaco Toothpaste, how do you respond inside there? Kel Chaco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Okay, David, so I like your smile. You can take it away now.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia Amabunsu. How many of you enjoy that banter between the schools, the patrons, and the students when Patricia is engaging with them? How many of you enjoy that bit? Listen, if you enjoy, don't just raise your hands. Put your hands together for them. You know what? Those engagements, those communications energizes the debaters around the podium and give a very good account of themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, contest 4 is about to begin. We're talking about the round of 16. Yesterday we had 2 contests actually, 2 schools of advanced, St. Louis and of course KNUST Senior High School. We've already had one competition already today, and the second contest is just about to come away. It's going to be between Prempeh College and Church of Christ. As we always say to you, we're happy to be doing this together with Ashanti Regional GES. We're happy to be doing this with Ashanti Regional, SRC. We're equally excited to be doing this with the Conference of Heads of our sister secondary schools, that is CHAS. Please put your hands together for all our partners. And also put your hands together for the Christian Service University for giving us this beautiful auditorium to host this contest. We say thank you to all of them. We began this contest, like one of the patrons said a while ago, some 7 years ago. This is the 8th edition. We've had several people come through, but we've had very limited winners. So for the first time we had this competition, Amass won. The second edition was won by St. Jerome. The third was won by St. Monica's. Then the 4th edition was won by Kumasi High School, the 5th edition by Prempeh College, the 6th edition by Kumasi High School, the 7th was won by Prempeh College, and they are the defending champions. 2028, by the 3rd of September, we'll be crowning another champion, whether it will be one of the defending champions or it will be a new champion that will be crowned. I'd like to take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to our title sponsor, Kale Charcoal Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. Please put your hands together for Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. And let me see you smile because they give you happy smiles. Thank you very much for the smiles. Let's say a big thank you to Didi Shita Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, Jackson University College, Sepa Musical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from the Trillium Industrial Company Limited, New Generation Investment Services, Amass Community Bank PLC, Otua Second Community Bank, St. Ben Jewelry, Tamak Questions and Answers Textbooks, The Sea Travels, 1+400, Fanzacos Limited, Royal Cyrus Publications, and Broadview Christian Academy. To our viewers on television, Joy Prime and Joy Learning, we say thank you very much. Please show them some love. Put your hands together for them because they're spending their time to watch this competition. We also have viewers on our socials, on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Please put your hands together for them as well. And also, we have our listeners on radio on Love 99.5. Our chairperson is still with us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, she is an educationist, a youth and marriage counselor, a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She is a renowned marriage counselor. Now, as an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and outside the country, Ghana. Now, she is a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and the headmistress of KNUST Junior High School between the years 1992 to 2008. Now, she is a co-founder and the principal of Jackson University College, which offers a one-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English guidance and counseling, educational leadership and administration, plus B.Ed programs. Now, in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she is married to Professor Ebenezer Sefwa Jackson, and by the grace of God, they have 4 adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Please show some love. Put your hands together for Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson, the patron and also the chairperson for the Love from High School's debate. Now, we always have a panel of judges seated who listen attentively to the debaters and score accordingly as well. Let me take this opportunity to introduce you one of our judges for this afternoon's competition, Reverend Justice Bufa Pukumenta, a lecturer here at the Christian Service University, and he is with the Department of Communication Studies. Show him some love as well. Next is Reverend Joseph Janvible. He is also with the Theology Department here at the Christian Service University. Thank you very much for your time. And the big man himself, the lead judge, Dr. Peter Arthur, is also with us. Now, he is a senior lecturer and former head of Department of English at KNUST, former head of Department of Language and Communication Sciences, KNUST. He's a textual analyst as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, for those of you who are listening to us for the very first time or watching us for the very first time, it's not for nothing that we invite him to mount the podium, to grab the microphone, and run us through the rules of engagement and again how, as judges, they score. Please listen attentively to the rules of engagement, listen attentively to what he will share with us, plus how they score as judges. Because at the end of the day, it is the scoring that matters. It's not about coming here, mounting the podium, and be rapping like some, rapper from the United States of America. You need to be audible enough. Don't take it from me, take it from him. Please put your hands together for Dr. Peter Arthur.
Thank you, Mr. MC and Madam Chair. With your permission, I break down the rules of engagement. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 parameters. Listen to me carefully. We have organization and clarity. We have arguments and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, and role as a particular debater. For organization and clarity, Yes, and then we are also talking about how you are able to conclude very well. With the first speaker, we are having 15 marks for that. Second speaker is having 10 marks, and then the summary is 5 marks. Arguments and development, and this is where they meet. The ability to reason, what we call reason progression, from number 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, conclusion. Yeah, if you take any of them away, you don't have the right type of conclusion. So for the first speaker, we are having 15 marks for that, and the second speaker, we're having 10, and then for the summary, we are having 5. And then we also have effective use of rebuttal. This is very important. And let me add here that you consider the progression. We have different types of progression. You have the causal chain, you have the procedural chain. With the causal chain, you have A, that is automatically giving rise to B. And therefore, if I listen to you in your A has other possibilities, you understand? And your B can be caused by other possibilities, then your argument is not sound. Then I have to challenge that. Of course, you come up with the right type of fallacious terminology to make sure that you describe to us what is happening. And then the procedural one, yes, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, before you can get it. You take any of the step away, you can't get it. So you identify and then explain to us, right? Good. And then I'm also adding that be very careful with the basis of your argument. Yes, and I gave the example that if you tell me all birds are humans and that the sparrow is a bird, therefore the sparrow is a human, I won't take it, and nobody will take that because the basis of your argument is weak. Now when that happens, we wipe out everything. You don't get the 3 marks. The 3 marks has to be with you introduce, you get the mark, you explain, you get the mark, you support, you get the mark. But when your argument is very bad, you don't get anything for that. And the first speaker is taking 5 marks, and the second speaker is taking 10 marks, and then the summary, there is nothing here. But let me add that if the first speaker comes here for the summary and is able to do a lot of rebuttals, which you people are doing, and we love that, we add it on to the second speaker. And what that means is that that portion cannot go beyond 10 marks. And then the first speaker, the 5 marks, that cannot go beyond 5. So for rebuttals, you can't go beyond 15. Take note of that. And then presentation style. Yes, you've already been told, don't rush us, okay? Use good language, use good body language, and then make sure that you engage your audience very well. The first speaker is taking 8 marks, and then the second 5 marks, and for the summary, we have 2 marks for that. And the role as a particular debater, the first debater comes in strongly, and then the second debater comes to support that. So the first is taking 5 marks, and the second is taking 3, and then for the summary, we have 2 for that. Now, let's get to the rules. The principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion. 10 minutes for that. Then the principal speaker on the opposing team also presents opposing the resolution. 10 minutes for that. Then the second speaker on the affirmative team presents further argument in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. This time, 7 minutes. And then the second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. 7 minutes for that. Then the principal speaker on the affirmative team comes with the closing statements to their arguments without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals, if any. 5 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team comes
comes with closing statement to their arguments without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. That is also 5 marks. And note that the speaker must be audible. And if you are a speaker, you have to wait for your turn. And that the principal speaker is raising 5 marks, and then the supporting speaker is raising 3 marks. Now let's look at other rules. He who asserts, oh, I didn't get the energy. He who asserts, that's right. And in order to establish an assertion, the team must support it with enough facts and evidence. Remember, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples of visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use as well. And also take note that tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibit to support facts. And then in rebuttals, the debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. And the one rebutting must confine him or herself to questions and not make statements, comments, or ask rhetorical questions. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline, not to induce, frustrate, or intimidate their opponent. If you do that, marks will be deducted. Now, with the time, respect time. When the bell goes, stop and move away. If you continue speaking, marks will be deducted. In the event of a tie, the two schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 24 hours. Let's take note of this. The score for one judge cannot overturn that of the two judges. There is either a majority decision from the judges, meaning 2 judges out of the 3 scored for a school, or we have unanimous decision, which means that all the 3 judges scored for a school. Now, if you have any problem, see the gentleman on my left, he will sort you out without any problem. Now, issues with time. Arrival time 12:30. If you come late, you'll be disqualified. Let me repeat. If you come late, you will be disqualified. Okay, Mr. MC, I think my job is done.
Well, here's our new judge, Dr. Arthur. All right, so in the next 2 or so minutes, we should be having the 4th contest begin. And that contest is going to be between Prempeh College, 2-time winners of the Love FM High School's debate, and a very formidable side in Church of Christ Senior High School. Now, during his information and presentation, Dr. Peter Arthur mentioned the timekeeper and the fact that the debaters must respect time. For the principal speakers, you have 10 minutes to debate. When you have 3 minutes more on your time, this is what Kelvin will do for you. Now, when your time is entirely up, Kelvin will equally do this for you. Now, for the supporting speakers, you've got 7 minutes. When you have 2 minutes on your time, you hear this. When your time is entirely up again, this is what you hear. The principal speakers will bounce back to give the summaries. When you have 2 more minutes to go on your 5 minutes, this is what you hear. And when your time is up entirely again, you would hear this. Ladies and gentlemen, all is set for contest 4 to begin. And so let me call on the school that is for the motion, Prempeh College, to stand and sing for us their school anthem. Amass SHS. Amass SHS. Amass SHS. Please stand. You are not new to this at all. You know the drill already. Are you ready to sing for us your school anthem? I didn't hear you. Are you ready to sing for us the school anthem? Yes. Thank you very much. Now, Francis, are you ready to help them sing the school anthem? He says he is. So follow Francis's lead and sing your school anthem on 3. 1, 2, go.
Arise and shine. Students of Prempeh College, training the fortune and talents to build in us Amass with pride and motto in the same of the love of God. To serve our nation, to serve our nation, we are strong. To serve our nation, to serve our nation, we are strong. Subhani India, Subhani India in praise. Karata integrity, Karata integrity, Karata integrity, Karata integrity, Karata integrity, Karata integrity. Amafo, raise the voice up, raise the voice up, and take glorious Prempeh College, and take glorious Prempeh College.
Two-time champions of the Love of Him High School debate in Prempeh College. Please, let's welcome their debaters. The principal speaker is Emmanuel Boateng, supported ably by Ebenezer Samoa. Okay, so there they are. Chrisek. Ladies and gentlemen belonging to that school, please stand as well. You heard your colleagues from Prempeh College sing their school anthem. As you stand, get ready to also sing for us your school anthem as well. Are you ready? I didn't hear you. Question is, are you ready? If you are ready, Francis, they say they are. So on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Christian students, arise, raise the status of the school. Arise, 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 Christian students, arise, raise the status of the school. True excellence, nothing but the best, will help us to achieve our majority. So arise, and raise the status of your mother's who grace. So arise, and raise the status of your mother's who grace.
Chrisek, please put your hands together for your debaters as we welcome them to mount the podium, grab their seats, and when it's their turn, the debate. Theophilus Entry is the principal speaker. Dorcas Mesa is the supporting speaker. That is stand the aisle or the stairs. Madam Chairperson, they have settled down now. They've settled down now, so with your permission, can we start the debate? She giving her blessing. Panel of judges, are you ready? They say they are. The timekeeper, are you ready? He says he is. So let's go to Prempeh College and welcome their principal speaker, Emmanuel Boateng, to start the debate. And the motion is adding towing service to an insurance premium is disingenuous. Prempeh College are for the motion. Church of Christ, they are against the motion. Welcome him one more time.
Fellow Ghanaians, we are often too quick to lambast the black man for forming bad policies to exploit loopholes in our system for their own personal interest. But today, I stand in the spirit of the Almighty and I declare that let he who is without sin cast his stone first. The reality in our country is that when a bad policy is forced through our throats and the rot cannot be removed, then comes a parasite who extracts his 3 square meals from that rot. And so it was therefore no boat out of the blue when the government in 2017 quashed the implementation of the towing levy on vehicle operators and users. Therefore, to you, the ever-wise chairperson, impartial judges, accurate timekeeper, all other protocols duly observed. From Prempeh College, Emmanuel Boatin is my name. Principal speaker with no shred of doubt in me that, quote and unquote, adding towing service to insurance premium is disingenuous. Madam Chair, explaining key terms in the motion. Towing service, according to Google, refers to the physical recovery of any stranded vehicle from one point to the other. As insurance premium refers to regular payments made to insurance companies in order to ensure that a policy is kept ongoing. The word disingenuous refers to that which has a bad motive but seeks to project otherwise on the surface. All definitions from the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. With all this into concept, the motion seeks to tell all of us here that adding towing service as a component of our insurance premium will destroy our insurance premium, and therefore we must debunk it. Now, my lovely audience on Facebook, can you follow me closely? There are 7 main principles of insurance as established by Bima Kavak. And the third principle is the principle of indemnity, which seeks to posit that every insurable event must be first and foremost accidental and completely happening by chance. With this, the Oxbridge, which is also a UK company, has also established that there are 2 main causes of vehicular breakdown, which are 1, accidental causes, and 2, vehicular causes, such as the engine breakdowns, which result from an overuse of the vehicle as established by the wear and tear theory. With this, even blind Bartimaeus will bear with me that adding towing service to our insurance policy will destroy it, since not all vehicular breakdowns are completely accidental. Now, with this into concept, our premier point in support of the resolution is that towing is service, but insurance is risk transfer. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners defines insurance as an economic strategy that is used to reduce uncertainty based on pooling. Now, the chair, ladies and gentlemen, we are never against towing. What we are against is the indiscriminate addition of towing into our insurance premium, which will destroy it. And so, the chair, I know my opponents may on this podium to claim that in the case of a vehicle breakdown, there will be the need for a tow. But the chair, what we want them to know, but my opponents, what we want you to know is that, let me take my time, Chair. Let me take my time, Chair. Adding towing service, my opponents may argue that in the case of a vehicle breakdown, there may be the need to add towing service to an insurance premium. But the chair, what we want them to know is that towing service is not the oxygen of our insurance premium, and therefore there is a clear difference between when a vehicle completely breaks down, in which it will need a tow, and forcing every policy holder to have a tow, which will not help us, and forcing every policy holder to pay about 12 times or even more per annum, whether they need it or not. And if you and my opponents, this is the difference I want you to know. If you fail to know this, then surely you are not here to debate. Moving on to my second point, the chair, we posit that adding towing to insurance premium will make motor insurance less affordable, which is contrary to the objective of expanding access. My people, can I shock you? 98% of Ghanaians are either uninsured or underinsured. Oh yes, according to the Bank of Ghana, in 2024, there was approximately just 1% of our GDP contributed from our insurance premiums. Oh yes, panel of judges, I know that my opponents will find it no Herculean task to tell us that towing service does not contribute Dangote's net worth, and therefore we can afford it. But the chair, what we want them to know is that consumers and that consumers want value for their money, and they are not always stingy. And so with this, we want them to buy into our idea. To my third point, the chair, we posit that forcing every policyholder to pay tolls creates an unfair cross-subsidy. Lovely audience, it is common knowledge that insurance operates through risk pooling. Yes, premiums are also paid so that those who suffer losses can be catered for. Notwithstanding, making it compulsory for everyone to pay for a service that may be needed by a few is a direct embarrassment to the principle of fairness. And so, Chair, we reject what our opponents are trying to say. Panel of judges, this is why the global insurance agency over the years has separated roadside assistance from such as regular towing from the regular core motor insurance. As if this was not enough, the Texas Office of Public Insurance Counsel also describes roadside assistance as a coverage that is often optional and may or may not be added to an auto towing. Panel of judges, our point is simple. Those who deem towing a necessity should be made to go in for it, but making it an automatic component will directly disrupt our insurance premium. And so I move on to point 4. Panel of judges, we further assert that the market already shows that towing can be sold separately. Let me take it again. We further assert that the market already shows that towing can be sold separately. Panel of judges, my opponents may mount this podium to tell all of us here that if towing is very useful, then why should it not be included in an insurance? But let me bring them home. According to the American Automobile Association, which serves over 61 million members in the whole world, 27 million of their costs result directly from roadside assistance costs. With this, about 13 million are involving towing. My dear, we are not comparing the US to Ghana, but what we want all of us here to know is that if towing service is free, then why should people not be made to go in for it if they want it? But why should it be imposed into our insurance premium? And so we'll come back with the answer. To my 5th point, the chair, we finally assert that insurance premium should be fair, clear, as well as accurate. Panel of judges, the Ghana insurance regulator has presented that every insurance policyholder should have a clear idea of what their insurance policy is about, and as such as it is displayed on my monitor. My opponents, these are not Prempeh School rules. So these are the projections of the National Insurance Commission's rules for safeguarding the rights of policyholders. So take note. Panel of judges. And so if my opponents and their idea of bringing in a new insurance policy can fulfill all these promises, then surely we will buy into their idea. But anything apart from that, then they should know that they are not here to debate, but rather to attend a funeral. And so the chair, we finally assert that if the core of this motion seeks to ask 3 logical questions. If adding towing service to insurance premium is not disingenuous, then 1, why should every policyholder be made to pay for it? 2, why should it be part of our insurance rather than an optional service? 3, how are we guaranteed of its transparency? My opponents, come back and bring the answer. Panel of judges, our submissions are clear. What we seek to posit is that my opponents should bring empirical evidences as to why towing service should be added into our insurance premium. The chair, I rest my case.
Doctor, when an argument lacks strength, aggression becomes a substitute, and that's what Amanfo demonstrated. Now the house, let's get interactive. Imagine a driver traveling from Sofolai to CSU, whose vehicle suddenly breaks down in the middle of the journey. 1, it is late at night. 2, the driver has no money readily available for a tow truck. Now, if insurance package include towing service, assistance can be dispatched. The house, is this deception or being proactive? Honorable chairperson, distinguished judges, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponent, ladies and gentlemen, good day. My name is Tiflos Entry, representing Church of Christ Senior High School, and the principal speaker against the motion before the house that, quote, adding towing service to insurance premium is disingenuous, unquote. Panel, before I proceed with my argument, permit me to explain some key terms used in the motion, and when necessary, credible evidence and verifiable fact will be attached to back our claims. According to MellingtonTV.gov, towing service means removing red vehicle from where they were disabled to another location. According to Investopedia.com, insurance premium is the money paid to an insurer to protect financial protection and insurance policy coverage. Now, according to Merriam-Webster, disingenuous means something which is not truly honest and sincere. Now the house, the issue is not whether every consumer will use to. No. The issue is that whether insurance package, including towing service, is somehow unfairly misrepresented to the customer, which is why we have 8 strong solid points to debunk the said motion. Now, our first argument is that adding towing service to an insurance premium is not disingenuous because insurers do not hide the existence of the service from customers. Panel, how can something be disingenuous if the customer is being told about it before purchasing the policy? Amanfo suggests that insurers quietly make customers pay for towing, but evidence from Ghana's insurance industry shows otherwise. Also, Phoenix Insurance also clearly the refund of towing costs among its comprehensive benefits. And NSIA Insurance also identifies service as part of the comprehensive motor cover. Now, the point is straightforward. The customer is not being presented with one product while the insurer secretly provides another. The towing benefit is identified as part of the policy. So where is the secrecy? Where is the secrecy? If the customer clearly testified that towing is part of the policy, where is the false impression? Where is the false impression? I'm out for. But you go now, our second argument is that adding towing service is not disingenuous because customers purchase comprehensive protection, not isolated benefit. Doctor, I'm out for one this house to look at towing as though it is some unrelated service attached to motor insurance. But I want to tell them that it is like Prempeh College having an alaya. It is like Prempeh College having a rapport with the Asantua. Yes, they know that. They know that. The same thing applies to motor insurance and towing service linking together. Now the house, NSIA Insurance Ghana includes towing service in some comprehensive motor policy. Yes, for instance, Hollis Ghana's executive car insurance covers towing costs when the vehicle breaks down or is involved in an accident, and also provide roadside assistance within 24 hours daily. Also, enterprise insurance also provide roadside assistance during an accident or breakdown. Now, if the customer purchases a comprehensive protective package, and if towing is part of the package, why should that inclusion be described as disingenuous? After all, the customer is not being tricked for buying a different package. They are buying a defined completely package for motor protection. Now, at the house, this moves me to my third argument. Adding towing service is not disingenuous because related protection can legitimately be priced together without misrepresenting what the customer is receiving. Ladies and gentlemen, the mere fact that the several protections are covered under one premium does not make that arrangement misleading. In the house, Uncle Francis, projection. Look at how motor insurance is structured. Motor insurance. Let me proceed. A comprehensive policy. Okay. This is how it is structured. Third party liability covers injury or damage to others. Minimum limit 7,000. Comprehensive. So every customer is being given a policy to determine. Now, comprehensive policy every comprehensive policy can cover several risks under one single contract and under one premium. So these protections are not necessarily purchased as completely separate transactions because they are all connected to the single and insured vehicle under the same risk. The house, this shows something really important. Are you with me? Are you lost? Oh, don't get lost. Okay, insurance companies can structure arrangements which can never be disingenuous. Also, the question therefore is not whether towing has been included alongside protection. The question therefore is the inclusion of towing service must represent what the customer is receiving, and we are saying no. Now, the customer is purchasing a package containing identified protection. Then, combining those protection is surprising structure. It is not by itself disingenuous. Now, our fourth argument is that adding towing service is not disingenuous because customers are not being led to believe something materially untrue about the insurance coverage. Doctor, to call the inclusion disingenuous, the proposition shows that the customer is being given a false understanding of what they are purchasing. If the policy clearly states that towing is included, what is actually that the customer being misled about? The National Association of Insurance Commissioners explains what an auto insurance policy covers depends on the type of coverage chosen. In other words, the protection a customer receives are determined by the policy they purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's National Insurance Commission similarly advise customers to determine and choose policy documents. What is included? What is excluded? The premium and the terms of the policy. So imagine a customer purchasing a policy and then towing is part of it. During that period, the customer may never need towing. But can the customer therefore say, the insurer has deceived me? No, the insurer never promised that the customer will need towing. Therefore, he promised that the available conditions under these policies is being covered by towing service. Ladies and gentlemen, not using a service is not necessarily that the customer is being misled. Now, to my last and final point, adding towing service is not disingenuous because insurance is designed around uncertain risk, not around charging customers only for risks they expect to personally experience. Panel, according to Ghana's Insurance Act 2021, defines premium, and I read, premium is a consideration paid by the policyholder under an insurance contract. Therefore, an insurance contract which provides benefits when specified on certain event matters. Now, the house, I would like to give one scenario to testify and for the betterment of this last point. Now, imagine I build a house and I purchase fire insurance. Years may pass. The house will not get burned. Does that mean that the person is expecting risk? No. Okay, now to my opponent's argument. The house, my opponent said the breaking down of vehicles is sometimes not accidental. The house, how can something be accidental if it is broken down? How can the customer intentionally claim that his vehicle is broken? Sorry. Now, my opponent said it may duplicate service customers already have elsewhere. Also, they said mandatory towing violates motorists' freedom of choice. Uncle Francis, please, projection.
Towing, what will happen is that when the law is passed, within 30 minutes, if your car is spoiled in the city center, you must call your towing company. Because the law now is that it's going to be mandatory for every car owner to subscribe to a towing company.
How many towing companies do we have?
Or an insurance company. And they are already ready.
So who are we paying the fee to? Are we paying ahead of time?
You subscribe. How do you pay your insurance? You subscribe. It's in the same fashion. You subscribe to an insurance company of your choice. And there are so many insurance companies.
The house, this man is called Abraham Amaliba, the Director General for National Road Safety Authority, and he says, and I quote, motorists already accept restrictions when their choices can endanger others. The NRSA's 2026 reforms plans, including mandatory towing, precisely because stationary broken down vehicles have caused accidents and increased fatalities. It is indeed that the motion on board that, quote, adding towing service to an insurance premium is disingenuous, unquote, is debunked. Thank you.
impartial panel of judges, the opposition has spent this debate proving that towing is useful. Do you know something? We don't disagree. A broken down vehicle on a road can cause congestion. It creates danger and can inconvenience motorists. We consider all, but Honorable Chair, the opposition has made one of the dangerous loop. The move from towing is useful, and therefore adding towing services to insurance premium is appropriate. But my dear, these are two different propositions altogether. A fallacy of division, panel of judges. Maybe the opposition have identified a breakdown on our road and somehow concluded that insurance premium is the mechanic. No. Let's steer this debate back onto the right road, far away from the Adadiantem highway, because apparently their engine is smoking, their arguments have been broken, and even the tow truck is refusing to come to their rescue. The chair impartial panel of judges, accurate sign keeper, or other esteemed protocols, duly acknowledged. Representing Prempeh College, I am Ebenezer Nana Asamoah, supporting speaker, speaking in full affirmation of the resolution before the August House, quote and unquote, adding towing services to insurance premium is disingenuous. The chair, per my role as a supporting speaker, my duty is not to repeat what my principal speaker has already established, but to take apart their arguments, tackle them one by one. Because the opposition wants us to look at the tow truck, but we want you to consider the bill. In light of this, point 6, we contend that access to towing is completely different from integrating towing into insurance. I take it again. Access to towing is completely different from integrating towing into insurance. A clear distinction the opposition seem to have to be seriously misplaced. The chair, the opposition claim that including towing will help motorists have easier access to service. Easier access care. This is a non-logical fallacy. Now, will it be easier calling a dedicated towing number for a tow, or calling an insurance company that transfer you to another department, transfer you again, and after explaining your situation for the 7th time, all they could tell you is that, unfortunately, sir, we cannot be at your service. Look at this. At this point, it's not the vehicle that needs towing, the customer's patience. That's true. We can have standalone roadside services, emergency tow truck, and pay per use towing. But in as much as my friends here want to chant and rant, does not establish towing into insurance premium. Now, look around your screen. We fixed two evidence, one signifying a towing service and the other signifying an insurance company with towing. With this, the opposition have proven the first. They've not proven the second. So we move on to our 7th point, with which we assess that combining towing with insurance creates confusion as to who is responsible when something goes wrong. My dear, as confused as you are, let me take it again. Combining towing with insurance creates confusion as to who is responsible when something goes wrong. Accurate timekeeper, I know you are busy moderating the time, but with all due respect, please permit me and let me elaborate on this point. The opposition are maybe nice. Insurance and towing sitting under one umbrella. We ask them, this is a strong man fallacy. Our question is, who will be responsible when the tow, or who will be responsible when the umbrella fails? At this point, imagine your car breaking down at 10 p.m. You call your insurer and they tell you, we can't be at your service for now. According to the NIC's report, dated February 2025, 35% of these corresponded weren't brought to resolvement. Out of this, 30% were being found in 1 month's complaint resolution. They say, we are not saying that these evidences are on towing. We are insisting on the fact that accountability, take note of that and write it, that's the key word. Accountability and complete resolution are strong meat for this insurance company. Towing, my opponent, will become a Limpopo bone from South Africa. A told your ancestors, wouldn't you? So one last and final point, the chair of the house, we assess that insurance may prioritize cost over quality of service. I take it again. Insurance may prioritize cost over quality of service. The opposition have made this look wonderful. You pay for your premium, your car breaks down, you call an insurer, they get you your check. Let's be realistic here. Who calls for the tool? The insurer. Who pays for the tool? The insurer. And who will be willing to control costs? Certainly the insurer. At this point, Who want the safest and the cleanest service? The stranded motorists. Let's put this into a classroom study. Imagine two companies. Company A arrives in 20 minutes, but costs more. Company B arrives in 2 hours, but costs less. Opponent and lovely audience. At this point, which one are you going for? Your guess is as good as mine. My dear, I wouldn't be surprised if we were caught in a queue for a 15 cedi KSC promo last Saturday. Yet you are here telling the stranded motorists to go in for a cheaper option. Look at you, birds of a feather. They said the opposition will concede all. But my dear, wait and let me expose you first. They asserted that adding toll to insurance premium creates road assistance. Look at you. This is a casual oversimplification. Me putting fire extinguisher in your car doesn't necessarily mean that I've turned it into a fire station. So at this point, we could have testified to the fact that the opposition's assertion even need road assistance. They also claim that conveniency will be caught when toll is added to it. This is an appeal to conveniency. You cannot claim the fact that conveniency, or you cannot claim the fact that tolling and insurance sits under one umbrella. Come and prove it with evidence, fact, and logic. They also asserted that tolling or adding tolling to insurance premium creates a win-win situation for the insurer and the motorist. Who is losing or who is winning? At this point, this is an appeal or a false analogy. You can't just claim the fact that oppositions come here and stand, but we are insisting on the fact that these accountabilities and complaints with the region are the sole need for these insurance companies. Let's share the house with all these assertions. I call you to rally behind us that adding tolling services to insurance premium is disingenuous. I take my seat.
A service does not become deceptive simply because you and I may not need it every day. Respected chairperson, panel of jury, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I am Dorcas Nana Amayabua Mensa, rising as the supporting speaker to firmly oppose the motion, quote, adding towing services to insurance premium is disingenuous, unquote. Since my principal speaker has already laid down the custom, kindly permit me to proceed with our unbiased arguments. Point 6, the House, we argue that customers pay for access to protection, not merely for eventual usage. Madam Jackson, insurance customers pay for protection against risk, not a guaranteed number of times they may use a service. Now, a driver may pay premiums for years without making a claim, but you and I would not dare to call that insurance worthless or deceptive. Why? Because insurance, as we all know, exists to protect against an uncertain event. Now, imagine a shop owner pays for a fire insurance, but at the end of the year, his shop never experiences fire. He cannot just say, I didn't use the protection, so I shouldn't have paid for it. No, the same thing applies to towing. A motorist may have a towing coverage and never require a tow. That does not mean the coverage has no value. Now, its value lies in transferring part of both financial and practical burden of an unexpected emergency to the insurer, subject to the terms of policy. And this risk is real. The Ghana National Road Safety Authority reported 13,489 road crashes, which involved 22,975 vehicles in just a single year, 2024. So, the risk motorists are paying to protect themselves against is not imaginary. Panel of judges, it is real. The House, insurance is a risk transfer mechanism, not a subscription that must be repeatedly used to justify its cost. Now, we do not call a fire insurance deceptive just because the house never catches fire. Neither do we call a traveling insurance deceptive just because the traveler completes the journey safely. Towing operates on the same principle. Therefore, paying for a protection one may never use it does not mean the insurance is disingenuous. I proceed to my second point. Non-optional coverage does not, by itself, create a misleading impression. Now, Amass argued that if customers cannot remove towing from their insurance package, then its inclusion is disingenuous. But that does not follow. The real question here, Amass, is not, can the customer remove the service? No, that is not the question. The question you should be asking yourself is that, has the insurer clearly disclosed what the customer is purchasing? If an insurer tells a customer that a coverage includes towing coverage, a package includes towing coverage, then the customer knows what forms part of the package. The fact that the customer cannot remove that component may be a matter of product structure, but it is not automatically deception. Now the house, unless Amass proves to us that the insurers conceal the towing components, misrepresent the premium, and create a false understanding of the coverage, they cannot simply equate non-optionality with disingenuousness. My last point, the house, product design does not make the inclusion disingenuous. A customer may dislike the way an insurance package is designed. Also, they may prefer to pay for the towing separately. That is a legitimate preference, but it is not the same as being deceived by the product. The house, disagreement with a product design is not the same as being deceived by that product. If an insurer clearly tells a customer what a package contains, what it costs, and what its limitations are, then the customer understands the product being purchased. So the proposition must distinguish between a product a customer does not prefer and a product that has been presented dishonestly. For this reason, I therefore ask the Amass for just one question. If a customer is clearly told that a package includes towing, then why exactly is the deception? Panel of judges, our position is simple. Insurance does not become deceptive simply because a customer may not use every service, or cannot remove every component, or even prefer a differently designed package. What matters is that whether the protection is transparently disclosed and provided its service to its terms. That is not deception. That is insurance fulfilling its purpose. Now, Amass mounted this podium and asserted that many insurance take premiums without delivering towing services. Now, this is a serious allegation. Name just one insurer and provide one documented case. Without evidence, your allegation. Without evidence, it remains an allegation, not an argument. Also, Emmanuel mounted this podium and asked a question: that's why every policyholder must pay for towing services. Towing is not only about the person whose car breaks down. Now the house, it protects every road user. One abandoned vehicle can cause obstruction traffic and even cause road crashes, leading to loss of life. They also asserted that towing should be made optional. Some motorists don't abandon their cars by choice. They simply lack the immediate access to towing. That is why towing coverage matters. With insurance, one call can bring assistance and remove the vehicle before it causes congestion or a crash. Also, they asserted that towing increased the cost of insurance. Cost alone does not make a service unnecessary. The question is whether the benefit justifies the cost. If towing prevents a breakdown from becoming a traffic hazard or fatal crash, then it's an investment in safety, not just an expense. The chair, the house, I bow.
The chair, panel of judges, I have mounted this podium once again, not to overwhelm you with words, but to present a decent summary of what has been put together by my supporting speaker and myself. In the first phase of our argument, we argued that adding towing service to insurance premium is disingenuous because 1, towing is a service, but insurance is risk transfer. 2. Adding towing service to insurance premium will make motor insurance less affordable, which is contrary to the objective of expanding insurance access. 3. Enforcing all policy holders to pay tolls creates an unfair cross subsidy. 4. The market already shows that towing can be sold separately. 5. An insurance premium must be fair, clear, and accountable to the customers. 6. Access to towing is completely different from integrating towing into insurance. 7. Combining towing with insurance creates confusion as to who is responsible when something goes wrong. 8. Insurance may prioritize cost over equality of service here. The chair, let me clear the air. My opponents mounted this podium and displayed a video of Mr. Abraham saying something that proves that towing should be inculcated into our insurance premium. But the chair, those were his own personal experiences and not the yardsticks for framing an entire national policy. So my dear, next time, open your eyes before opening your mouth. Panel of judges, my opponents also said that we are putting it on them that towing should be made mandatory or compulsory. We never said that. What we are saying is that making towing compulsory should not be accepted, and therefore their assertion has been debunked. The chair, panel of judges. If my listening is a skill, and in order to get that, one must pay rapt attention. But my opponents failed to do that. In my introduction, I showed clearly how there are 7 main principles of insurance and how adding towing service to insurance deviates that. And how adding towing service deviates that. I also pointed out to how the Oswich company proves that this is wrong. And so my opponents are supposed to prove to all of us here how adding towing service to insurance premium is not disingenuous when the very principles of insurance are against this very idea. In the absence of that, the very central basis of their argument lacks procedural change. The chair, on this note, I rest my case.
The House, I am back again to briefly run through what my supporting speaker and I talked about. 1. We raised that adding towing service is not disingenuous because insurers do not hide the existence of the service from customers. 2. Customers purchase comprehensive protection, not isolated benefits. 3. Related protection can legitimately be priced together without misrepresenting what the customer is receiving. 4. Customers are not being led to believe something materially untrue about their insurance coverage. 5. Because insurance is designed around uncertain risk, not around charging customers only for rates they expect to personally experience. 6. Because customers pay for access to protection, not merely for eventual usage. 7. Non-optional coverage does not by itself create a misleading impression. And lastly, 8. Product design does not make inclusion disingenuous. Now the House, I am using Amass evidence to bury them. I'm using their evidence to bury them. This is what they showed on the screen about National Insurance Commission. They also asserted that they are forced to accept the policy, and I quote, receive a copy of your policy document in a language you understand before or at the time of purchase. Be clear and be given a clear explanation of what is covered, what is excluded, what your obligations are as policy holder. Also, they claim that towing is an unnecessary extra cost. The House, cost alone does not make a service unnecessary. The question before the House is whether the benefit justify the cost. If towing prevents a breakdown from becoming a traffic hazard or fatal crash, then it is an investment into safety, not simply an expense. Also, they clearly state that we shouldn't add toll. The House, I can clearly testify that my opponents are very wicked. Why? Because according to the Bible, Galatians chapter 6 verse 2, and I read, carry each other's burden, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Praise the Lord. My opponents, it is not necessary that you might save. It's not necessary that you should add to. Therefore, you can save someone's life from an accident because money can never buy life. Also, they asserted that towing service become useless when you don't use toll. The house, it is disingenuous rather to call towing unnecessary simply because a motorist may never use it. But that logic, fire insurance is unnecessary when a house never burns. Insurance is about protection against risk, not guaranteed usage. Also, they claim that only rich motorists can afford towing. The house, that assumes towing protection must be expensive insurance products already offer different levels of cover and payment arrangements. The issue is not whether every motorist needs the same package, but whether access to towing protection has legitimate value. Also, they claim that sometimes there must be unstable network. The house, they are attacking the possibility and disadvantage of towing. They are not into the motion because the motion states that adding towing service to an insurance premium is disingenuous. Also, they claim that they asserted that government should provide the towing service. They said government should provide the towing service. Government has a responsibility similar to our general of Ghana's National Authority of the Road. Government have a responsibility to ensure road safety, but that does not mean government must personally provide every service. Ghana's National Road Safety Authority itself has proposed a system where motorists subscribe to a towing company or an insurer, while the NSRA intervenes when those services fail. Also, they claim that government is delaying the passing of the policy. House, a delay in passing a policy does not make towing unnecessary. The National Safety Road Authority has not abandoned the policy. Mandatory service under LI 2519 is planned for the rollout in 2027. Also, they claim that when you call your toll, sometimes you don't get them. The house, like I said earlier about Finis Insurance providing refunding. The house, let me give you a clear scenario. Imagine my car has broken down and then I call a different private towing, and then if they tow my vehicle, therefore when my current towing service clearly find out that my vehicle is being damaged, they are going to pay all my expenses. So now it is indeed that the motion on board that quote adding towing service to an insurance premium is disingenuous unquote. My submissions are clear. Thank you.
Well, all too soon, we've come to the end of the fourth contest for the round of 16 at the Love FM Kel Chaco Toothpaste High School's debate. This contest just went by was between Prempeh College and Church of Christ. Please put your hands together one more time for the debaters. And as you are very much aware, our title sponsor is Kel Chaco Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. We have other sponsors in Didishito Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, Jackson University College, Sepo Mescal Pen, Bigo and Venom Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, New Generation Investment Services, Amass Community Bank PLC, Ochuasikan Community Bank, St. Ben Jewelry, Tamak Questions and Answers Textbooks, The Sea Travels, Complex 400, Franzacos Limited, Orion Cyrus Publications, and Broadview Christian Academy. Please put your hands together for our sponsors. And let's also put your hands together for all of the people who watched us on television, on Joy Prime, and of course on Joy Learning. Put your hands together for our viewers also on our socials, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and those who listen to us on radio. We are grateful to all of you. In a bit, the results will be ready. We shall be announcing them accordingly. But once again, Patricia is among the students.
Yes, David, I'm always here, and I'm here to put the icing on the cake. Are we ready for the icing on the cake? Yes. David, today, the bags that I'm having from Kel Chaco, please, Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Hey, those at my bag, they are not saying anything. Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Kel Chaco Toothpaste. And David, you see this very beautiful t-shirt from Kel? It's a size small, and it's actually my size, but unfortunately, I cannot wear it. Who wants my t-shirt?
One thing I like about the t-shirt, The one thing I like about the t-shirt the most is the color. You know, love of him is red, isn't it?
Yes.
So I love the color.
And please, that's not the only shirt. I also have this very beautiful Kel Charcoal toothpaste shirt. This is medium size. Please, I want to wear it myself, or I should give it to someone. Okay, so if you are ready to answer my questions, because we've gotten to the Kel Charcoal toothpaste minute. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. I have some other goodies in this bag, and so the person who answers my question correctly will take everything away. Now, question number 1. Rebecca Maro, help me select who is going to raise their hands first, okay?
All right.
No, any school can answer.
Okay.
My first question is, it comes in 2.
Okay.
How many grams does Kel Charcoal toothpaste come in? How many grams?
A round of applause for the gentleman from high school.
Please, let's clap for their branch here coming.
Yeah.
Oh, boss, please come. Please come. You have the answer, eh?
Yes.
This one is one attempt too.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hear you. Should I ask the question again?
Yes.
You know okay, then please, I'm sure you know the answer. Please, let's hear you.
We have the Kel Charcoal toothpaste and then the Kel Kids.
I said how many grams?
How many grams?
How many grams?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't know. Oh.
My God.
Okay, so this lady here, this lady from Prempeh was the second person to raise her hand. The lady in glasses, you can get up and approach Auntie Pat. A round of applause for her. Keep clapping for her. See, you know, okay. Watch the camera, please.
You know what they are saying? Madam me. If they was in glass, I said me. Oh, please come. Let's clap for the lady from Prempeh.
All right.
Oh, please draw closer to me. What's your name, darling? Let's look into the camera for me. What's your name?
Okay, I'm named Rachel Kubrika Nanama.
Okay, Rachel. So how many grams does Kel Charcoal toothpaste come in? In fact, you tell me.
150 grams.
And the second one is?
18 grams.
You know the 18 grams is just for display. Can we all wave our 18 grams? That one there is just for display. That is what as Father Christmas we give to you. So what's the second one?
75 grams.
Yay!
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it to her.
Okay.
Because she got the 150 correct, but the second one is 80 grams. So let's clap for her as she receives her bag from Samara Company Limited. So I have my second bag. They say terms and conditions apply. So the terms and conditions apply to workers of multimedia. We are not part, but even the judges can come if they have the answer. And the patrons too can come if you have the answer. So, are you ready for second question?
Ready.
The Kel Charcoal toothpaste minute. So, the second question is... Hey, boys need you up over. The second question today is... Which company produces Kel Charcoal toothpaste? Hey, that's the second question. The other question is
Patricia, to avoid any commotion.
Okay.
As soon as you mention which company, a gentleman raised his hand. So let's be fair.
Where's the person?
When he approaches you put up the second question. A round of applause. The Abranti is coming down. A round of applause for him.
There's a second question. There's a second question. So come. So the first question is, which company produces Kel Charcoal toothpaste?
It's 150 grams.
One attempt.
No, absolutely not.
Question. Okay.
So someone actually mounted the podium to say, listening is a what? Listening is a skill.
Okay. Anybody? Okay, so Brother, can you select? I've seen some hands from Prempeh College.
Yes.
Okay, so the person should come. Yes. Whoever. There is two questions. So
silence, please.
Okay, let's have some silence, guys. All right. So the first question is, which company produces Kel Charcoal toothpaste? Please draw closer. Let's do this. Which company produces Kel Charcoal toothpaste?
So the company is Samara Group of Companies.
Okay, so he got that right. And the second question is, where is the office in Kumasi located?
It is located in Asukwa.
They are telling you Asukwa. Okay. Hey, who has the answer? I'll give you one set. I'll give you one set, okay? Please, he got the first question correct, so let me give him this. Are you medium or you are small? Which one are you? Medium. Okay, so I'm going to give him the medium. Hold it for me.
But Patricia, we are not supposed to leave Amass out of this minute.
But where are they?
Where are they? Amass, where are you?
Where are you? Wait, gentlemen, I'm giving you this shirt. But give me my 2 exercise moves from Kel. Okay, and this t-shirt. Please, let's clap for him.
All right. Oh, clap for him properly. Don't be jealous. Okay, Patricia, how many bags do you have left?
Oh, I have 2 bags left. Two bags left. So,
all right.
And my second question, I've been always mentioning where you can find them. I've always been saying it, and I know you all are very smart people.
Okay.
Please, there's another. Okay, so can I get someone from TI Media? Church of Christ, TI Media, Prempeh. Okay, I think let's see if this Prempeh guy will get it. Please give me, please let's clap for him.
Oh, clap for him.
So you give me, see, 1, they are scattered all over Ghana. I know you will say that, but I've rebutted already. So tell me where they are located in Accra and Kumasi.
Okay, for Accra, for Kumasi, it's Asafo. And for Accra, it is North Industrial Area.
No! You have the answer. Okay, no, you're wrong. Please, let's clap for Tia Media. Oh, come, let's do this quickly. Where is Samara Company Limited located in Accra and Kumasi?
In Accra is located in East Legon.
Okay, East Legon is right, and Kumasi. Okay, since she got the East Legon right, let's give it to her. Thank you so much. So you can locate Samara Company Limited across the 60 regions of Ghana. And if you are in Accra and you're looking for them, yes, find their corporate office at plot 144 Sasso Street. That's Adjungano, East Legon. That's where they are. And also they are in Kumasi. They are located at Dunkirk, right opposite the fuel station there. Where the Asafo interchange, when you go down there. And the last question, this one I want a patron to answer. Please, any patrons around? TI patron, are you here? Prempeh patron, are you here? Chrisek patron, are you here? High school patron, are you here? All right, so this is a 2-in-1 question too. So to the patrons, give me 5 amazing things that the constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Yes, talking of brushing with it in the morning and in the evening, you can even add afternoon. Hey, what does it do? 5.
Patricia, we are looking for patrons. The students are raising their hands.
We are looking for. Hello, patron. Should I mention names? Oshigo, where are you? Prempeh College, Baba High School, and my friend from Church of Christ. You are writing numbers. Please, patrons, quick. Let's do this.
Oh, but I think TC is ready. TC is ready.
Okay, boss, please.
TC is ready.
For TC, Tia Media. He has the answer. Boss, please come. Let's clap for TC. He's representing Tia Media. Please clap for them, your patrons.
Hold on. TC.
Okay, TC, come. TC, please come. Hold on. All right, so the point is, if they get it correct, I'm going to give them the bag for them to share whatever is in it. So, TC from... He's your boss. Okay, so TC from Tia Media. Boss, Shohwen Munyam.
Boss, Shohwen Munyam. What do you have to say?
Yeah, so let me know
the benefits.
The benefits of using Kel Charcoal toothpaste.
Of course, happy smile, strong teeth, and then the rest, my boy will add it.
Okay, wait. Hey, TZ, wait. So come with the next 4. Okay, so the gentleman from Church of Christ, also let me hear you.
So it takes captivity here, and also
Patricia,
and also nice smile, and
features or the qualities or the benefits you get when you use Kelchaco toothpaste?
Okay. It gives you fresh breath. It protects gum. Also, it gives you white teeth. And then again, it protects cavity.
Oh my God! Oh, let's go for Samara Company Limited. So once again, remember that every proper good dentist will recommend Kelchaco toothpaste for you. Because when you use it, it's going to whiten your teeth, it's going to prevent cavities, it is going to give you healthy gums, of course, and stronger gums. It's also going to give you that fresh breath and reduce dental plaque and ultimately give you a happy smile. That is what Kelchaco toothpaste does for all of us. And so remember to get a pack at any supermarket. But if you want bulk purchase, locate them across the 16 regions of Ghana. In Kumasi, find us at Dunkirk, right opposite the fuel station, and also in Accra at plot 144 Sasso Street at Drinkano, East Legon. Kelchaco toothpaste.
Happy smile. Patricia, you know, when I heard captivity, I was going to ask him whether it's the captivity of Zion. Because I needed to know. I needed to know. But again, we'd like to say a very big thank you to Better Malt. Bell Malt is a non-alcoholic malt drink, and it's back. It's reloaded with a bang, bringing you an enjoyable malt refreshment every day. Its taste has been reimagined to be smoother, creamier, and more refreshing than ever before. Bell Malt, shine your greatness. Bell Malt, a new malt experience. This advert is FDA approved. Now, who's ready to listen to some of the comments I picked up on social media? Are you ready for the comments? When I ask, are you ready? I want to hear you say, ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Alright, so Global Leader says this debate is for phobia. The nucleus of love 99.5 FM debates. Reynald Jr. says the best should win this debate today. Young Jeezy says Emantia always talk less and win more. Mush says Kuhis is far away from winning. Phobia all the way. Farida says Kuhis has no chance today. Aim High 76 says high school is down. I don't know what's happening. SHS Arena says Linus, you did very well. Good job to you. Abrantia Franklin says the only high school in Ghana, Kuhis all the way. Mansa Ya says Amanfo, get ready for Ahotefo. Aim High 76 says PC starting is bad. Better luck next time. Mr. Backbone says PC will go home today. Micah says anti-defending champions pay. So Your Majesty also says allow. Your Majesty also says Church of Christ and Presec Bompata have contributed to debate and need to win one time. Listowell Ejay says Amanfo Mochiguho. Kusiwa says Presec is on heat. Samuel says God is not with this Emmanuel. Alex says Amanfo, you are sweating. Ransford says Osei Presec, heat Baba, we do all. Gifty says, hey, you do all. We tackle them one by one. Go there, Ebenezer. What if 07 says PC supporting speaker seems more confident and better than the principal speaker? Micah also says Ahotefo with evidence and eloquence. David, over to you.
All right, so my very first question to you, have you enjoyed your afternoon? Have you enjoyed your afternoon? Have you been educated? So then please put your hands together for the debaters. From the 4 schools, Amass, Kumasi High School, Prempeh College, and Church of Christ. Now before I announce the results, I'd like to say a big thank you to our chairperson, Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. Please put your hands together for her. And please put your hands together for the accurate timekeeper and to the judges as well. At the beginning of the contest, we told you we have 2 ways of scoring. Either you win through a majority decision or through a unanimous decision. Now, majority means that 2 out of the 3 judges scored for the winning school. That is majority. For unanimous, it means that all the 3 judges called for the winning school. And so the results. TMS, they went for the motion. So I'll start with their results. Organization and clarity, you got 25 from one of the judges. You got 24 from the other judge and 23 from the other judge. We have 3 judges. So that's how they scored. 25, 24, 23 sums up to 72. Argument and development. TMS, the judge gave you 22. The other gave 23. The last judge gave 23. 22, 23, 23 sums up to 68. Effective use of rebuttal, TMS, you got 11 from one of the judges. One other judge gave you 9. The last gave 15. 11, 9, 15 sums up to 35. Presentation style TMS, you got 11 from one of the judges, 11 from the second judge, and the third judge gave you 12. 11, 11, 12 amounts to 34. Role as a particular debater, you got 8 from one of the judges, 7 from the other, and then 9 from the other judge. So 8, 7, 9 sums up to 24. So 72, 68, 35, 34, 24 sums up to 233. Now the results for Kumasi High School, same style. Organization and clarity, you got 23 from one of the judges. One judge gave you 24, another gave you 24. 23, 24, 24 sums up to 71. When it comes to argument and development, the judge gave you 23, another 24, the final judge gave 25. 23, 24, 25 sums up to 72. Effective use of rebuttal, Kumasi High School, you got 11 from one judge, 10 from the other, and 15 from the other. 11, 10, 15 sums up to 36. Presentation style, you got 10 from one judge, 11 from the other, and then 11 again from the final judge. 10, 11, 11 sums up to 32. Role as a particular debater, you got 8 from one of the judges, the other gave you 7, the final judge gave you 8 as well. 8, 7, 8 sums up to 23. So 71, 72, 36, 32, 23 sums up to 234. By a majority decision, Kumasi High School advances to the next stage of the competition. And they defeated TMS by 1 point. So Kumasi High School. It's time for you to sing for us a school anthem and do it for us in 2 minutes. Your school anthem as it celebrates your victory. 1, 2, All right, so thank you very much. Thank you. High school, thank you. High school, thank you. The second contest was between Prempeh College and Church of Christ. So high school. Now the results. When it comes to organization and clarity, Prempeh College, you got 24 from one of the judges. Another gave you 24. The third judge also gave 24. Prempeh College, 24, 24, 24 sums up to 72. Argument and development, Prempeh College, you got 21 from one of the judges, 24 from the other judge, again 24 from the third judge, 21, 24, 24 sums up to 69. Effective use of rebuttal, Prempeh College, you got 9 from one judge, 9 from the second judge, 11 from the third judge, 9, 9, 11 sums up to 29. Presentation style, you got 10 from one judge, 10 from the other, and then 11 from the final judge. 10, 10, 11 sums up to 31. When it comes to role as a particular debater, you got 6 from a judge, 6 from the second judge, 8 from the third judge, sums up to 20. So 6, 6, 8 sums up to 20. Prempeh College, your tally. 72, 69, 29, 31, 20 sums up to 221. Kumasi High School, silence. Kumasi High School, silence. Psalms chapter 221. Now the result for Church of Christ. When it came to organization and clarity, a judge gave you 26, another 24, the last judge gave you 25. 26, 24, 25, Psalms chapter 75. Argument and development, you got 25 from a judge, 24 from a judge, and 24 from the last judge. 25, 24, 24, Psalms chapter 73. Effective use of rebuttal, you got 11 from a judge, 12 from a judge, and 12 from the final judge. 11, 12, 12, Psalms chapter 35. Presentation style, Church of Christ, you got 11 from a judge, 14 from a judge, and 12 from the final judge. 11, 14, 12, Psalms chapter 37. Role as a particular debater, you got 7 from one judge, 7 from the second judge, and then 8 from the last judge. So 7, 7, 8, Psalms chapter 22. So with 242 points, and it's a unanimous decision, Cresec wins that contest against Prempeh College. Now Cresec, you have defeated the defending champions. Please sing for us. Sing your school anthem for us right now. Your school anthem, Francis. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cresec. And tomorrow, same time, same place tomorrow, Opoku High School will face New Obibia Senior High School, St. Hilda's Seminary, Wilfred Ibadu Rahman tomorrow. See you then, but Patricia, please take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, David, and all too soon we have come to the end of contest 3 and contest 4 of the Love FM Kelchako Two-Face High School debate here at the Christian Service University. And at the end of today's proceedings, unfortunately, the defending champions, Prempeh College, have been kicked out by Church of Christ Senior High School, but the school like Kumasi High School have actually booked the to the quarterfinal stage as well. And I have my gentlemen, yes, the debaters and also their patron right here to have a conversation with. Let me go straight to Baba. Yes, Baba is the Baba Yala for Radio Love 99.5 FM, also on TV. Share something with us after this victory.
Thank you, and greetings to your teaming audience. Before the contest, I indicated that high school, we know nothing but victory, and surely victory has been ours. So we are genuine. That is the quarter-final for high school. So the school that is meeting us, they should be well prepared, because we are correct our mistakes and come back with what? Fire. So it's going to be fireworks in the quarter-final stage.
What did you see from your debaters on stage?
Yes, there were few lapses on the part of maybe one of my speakers. As a coach or as a trainer, I have taken interest in that. I'm going to effect the necessary corrections, and then we come back stronger.
All right, congratulations to you. And I understand you are in first year and you are doing this for Kumasi High School. What was the feeling like for you being on stage?
Well, it was rough for me, but all I can say is that this is not my best. Church of Christ should be expecting the best of me in our next meeting.
What do you want to tell your friends from Tia Media?
Well, it was a good contest, but the best always remains the best. Kumasi High School.
And let me speak to my supporting speaker also from Kumasi High School. Share your thoughts also with me after this victory.
Okay, so I think that today was not our best contest, but all that I can say is that everyone should anticipate. That's all I can say.
Okay. Everybody should anticipate. These are the gentlemen from Kumasi High School who have made it to the quarterfinal stage. And so they joined the likes of KNUS Senior High School and St. Louis Girls Senior High School, who were all semi-finalists from last year, and they have actually got into the quarterfinal stage. But it's the road board and defending champion, that is Prempeh College. But our friends from Church of Christ right now. Yes, they were the ones that took out Prempeh College, the defending champions. And I think this is the second time that Prempeh hasn't been able to defend their title. In 2024 to when they came out the first stage, unfortunately they got kicked out. And I have this beautiful lady here. You debated today when you were meeting the defending champion. What was the thing going through your head?
Okay, I didn't feel any pressure. When I heard that we were coming to debate against Prempeh College, I was happy. I don't know why, because I knew God will always support us and make us win.
Okay, God will support you and make you always win. Let me speak to your co-debater, gentlemen. Come quickly, let's do this. The people that you are holding, is that your apple?
Certainly not.
So what are you holding, and what made you win over Prempeh College today?
Actually, it's just preparation. It's just preparation and confidence and God. Preparation, confidence, and God. Tetelesta, where we.
Okay, Tetelesta, where we, and respect you, patron, before, yeah, Mr. Captivity right there. Going back to campus, what does it mean? This victory mean?
All right, so last week we met Otunfo to the second college year. We gave a college, so it seems after any school who is here to meet Church of so this win is for the whole school, our headmaster, our assistant head, our entire student. We salute you, our entire staff. We salute you all. This is just the beginning, and we are going to prepare for next week. Any school waiting to meet Church of Christ SHS should get ready for us. Thank you.
Okay, getting ready for you, madam. With you finally, and what is the strategy or the plan for Church of Christ at the quarterfinal stage? Share with us.
Okay, what I would say is that we are getting ready for the quarterfinals, and then the best is yet to come.
Okay, so the best is yet to come. That is a message coming from Church of Christ Senior High School. On that note, we'd like to say thank you so much for watching Contest 3 and Contest 4 on Joy Prime, Joy Learning, listening to us on radio, Love 99.5 FM, and also following us on our social media handles. We'd like to say thank you to the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of First of Assisted Senior High Schools, and our proud sponsor, that is Kelcha Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. From production here in Kumasi, we say thank you so much, and we'll meet you tomorrow for Contest 6 and Contest 6 and 7. Yes, thank you very much. So have a lovely one, and we'll see you Contest 5 and 6, I must say. My name is Patricia, and remember that we love you so much. Your radio, Love 99.5 FM.
It's from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest